greatest song ever written. And I was listening to Let It Be this morning. Paul McCartney knows a thing or two about songwriting.
About writing a tune.
Yeah. He's written some himself. But Brian, but he's right. I mean, you listen to God Only Knows, I dare you to argue.
It's just on.
Greatest song ever written?
I mean, you could say, to say it's not in that conversation.
It's definitely in the conversation.
Is an ignorant opinion. You still listen to that and you don't even understand how. That's the thing about Brian Wilson's music. You listen to it and you don't understand how it was written.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't understand
instruments.
The brain. You don't write a song with instruments. I mean, unless the instrument is a pen, I suppose.
Your brain.
Right. You just don't understand how, still, and it's crazy because, you talk about people that are ahead of their time, and when they come out with music in the time, people go, this is mind-blowing, I've never heard anything like this before. And there are plenty of people like that kind of, they start trends, but it's a whole different level when, you're writing music in the 60s, and you listen to it in 2025, and you're just marveling at whatever brain process was used to figure out how to put these puzzle pieces together and, create this sound and create the music and then the lyric that goes with it and then everything. Especially when you realize that, before Pet Sounds was written, it's Deuce Coupe and Help Me Rhonda. And then they're just okay, Brian, you go home and you write an album. And he's okay, here's what I got. And they're what is this? The band doesn't know what this is. And that's and by the way, people talk about God Only Knows, but that whole album is insane.
Well, he wanted to compete with the Beatles' Rubber Soul.
And he did.
He heard Rubber Soul. He's he was driving in his car.
Yeah.
And he pulled over and he started crying because he's the Beatles beat me to it. And then he's he dove into Pet Sounds. He's I need a song. I need an album to compete with this album.
That's the ultimate. People talk about sort of putting everything into your art, and is it worth literally sacrificing your life, your humanity, your everything? Will you put everything into your work? And that album is probably the best example of it because he went crazy making that album.
He did.
Didn't that push them to do Sgt. Pepper?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about Pet Sounds is they did Pet Sounds, and when it came out, that people were eh.
Well, because also
it flopped in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
When you listen to that album, that's an album that they're a pop band. They're like a boy band, really.
Right.
Even more so than the Beatles. They're a pop, radio-friendly boy band. They really were designing their sound from the 1950s more so. They weren't trying to be progressive. They were trying to just do kind of what worked. And what worked would be love songs that were about love and how great love is. And then not only is Pet Sounds so, sonically different, but every love song is about how horrible and heartbreaking and painful love is. It's all about this is terrible. Love is here today and it's gone tomorrow. It's you're just listening to the lyrics of that song going it's hopeless. This whole, no matter how good you feel right now, trust me, the other side of the coin is coming. And it's going to be terrible. God Only Knows, you're sitting there going on one end, it's a beautiful love song, but on the other end, it's
he says, I may not always love you.
Yeah, I might not.
That's how it starts.
You're sitting there trying to decipher, wait, what are you saying? Right? Because if you just listen to the hook, which a lot of people do, God only knows what I'd do without you. Oh, that's so nice. And he's no. I'm obsessed with you. I don't know if I'll always love you, but I don't know what to do without you.
Right.
And I'm trapped. That's really if you listen to the lyrics, he's trapped in this it's almost his identity is, and I've listened to the lyrics of many of those songs and gone through periods of time where I go, okay, that's what that song means. And then I'll listen to it again and I go, no, I was totally wrong. It means something else completely different. And then unfortunately, at no point after the album could you talk to him and get a lick of sense out of him.
He doesn't know where he is.
Let alone what the song is about. He doesn't know what's going on today. But you go, oh, so it's a love song, but you don't even you're trapped in this love. There's no, but it's a wedding song still, I mean, literally, it was my wedding song.
Yeah. Yeah, the album is incredible. Pet Sounds, and then but it flopped, and then the label Capitol was like Brian, we need a hit. Like there's no hits here.
And he's like, all of them are.
I mean, everybody like shit on Mike Love. Like heard the Pet Sounds album. He's like, this like what is this? And that's basically how the name Pet Sounds came about. Mike Love was like, this is like sound like pet sounds. It doesn't even sound like this is like human sounds.
And he's like, Brian's like, yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I love that. We'll use that.
Good idea, Mike. He's like,
finally a good idea.
Yeah, you idiot.
Is that true? Like Mike Love was saying that, like shitting on it, and Brian was like, "Great, we're gonna name it."
Well, I don't know how if it went down like that, but that was that's how that album title
that's
came
interesting.
about.
I didn't know that.
But I bet when Mike Love tells the story, he's giving himself a little pat on. I told him.
I came up with that.
I told him, yeah.
And meanwhile, Mike Love shit all over him for that record. It was like, stick to the formula. We sing about cars,
and
like
chicks.
finding the girl, and like we never go steady.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be right.
And then so Pet Sounds was okay, and then commercially.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, I got to write a hit. So he wrote Good Vibrations, which is like one of the greatest songs ever written.
Right. And Good Vibrations was meant to be the lead single off the next album
called Smile.
Smile. And they couldn't get any version of Smile out until like 2004? 2004. Well,
that's Brian's band. He put a band together to do Pet Sounds. And then the band leader was like, hey, why don't we go back and revisit the Smile? And that was a terrible period for him. So he did Good Vibrations, and it was this colossal, like massive, massive hit.
Because Good Vibrations, like, you almost, that it was just in the beginning, too, of that, like, it's the psychedelic sound of it that people finally started to get. I think, like, Pet Sounds, people started to get it. And then it becomes, what's next? What do you have for us next? And I feel like this is the sound that made it commercial. The theremin, I think, is what made it like
kind of out there.
Yes, and sort of now makes it a hippie anthem. Yep. Now makes it like as outside the box as that is. I think it actually makes it more commercial for the time.
Yeah.
But wasn't this like the most expensive single ever recorded, like by far?
Yeah, at the time. Yeah. So what he did was like he would have session musicians. They'd all come into a studio, all the drums, guitar player, bass player, horns, everything. They come into the studio, and he goes like, "Okay, play this," and they play it, and they go, "Okay, thanks, see you later."
Yeah,
and then they all go home.
But it'd be like one chord,
and the band's like, "What the hell is this?
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, and he's like, "I just need it. It's literally 5 seconds of the song. Like you could just like."
Dun 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 dun. Okay, go home.
Get out of here. Yeah, I got it. Because like most people, like you hear these songwriters, like when John Tesh is talking about his like round ball rock and his genius, John Tesh it's like he comes up with it by just like leaving a voicemail for himself, and he's got the whole song right.
Whereas, he really does talk about himself.
Like he's Brian Wilson.
Like he's Brian Wilson.
Yeah. But he's able... Whereas Brian Wilson, and this is like why he still hasn't been matched in my opinion, like he would come up with that one sound, that one like literally one little part of 5 seconds of the song that you're not even going to hear. It's going to be surrounded by 100 other things. But that like Buddha Badoom. And he would just like obsess over the Buddha Badoom. I got to hire people right now. I got to get the Buddha Badoom. Okay, now I have the Buddha Badoom. And he's doing this all, like he's got like tapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's back in the day.
He has a piece of tape from this studio recording, he has a piece of tape from that studio. And then the band they had no idea what it was, and they'd hear it on the radio and go, oh, that's what he was doing.
Right.
But it was none of their business.
It was honestly like
it
wasn't.
Hand.
It was it was none of their honestly it was none of the Beach Boys business what Brian was doing. The whole Beach Boys, it's like leave him alone.
Mike Love should hear the album when it comes out.
Yes, he should. He has nothing to do with it. You're here to tour my music. Because that's also how Pet Sounds like came about, is that the Beach Boys were around, they were doing all their, everything that's on Sounds of the Summer and everything the first half of the album. Sure. And like Brian Wilson even back then had hideous stage fright. Hated being on stage. Hated performing publicly.
Hated touring.
So he said, please, guys, please, can I stay home from the tour? I don't want to go on stage. I don't want to tour. Can I please stay home and write the next album? And you guys tour this stuff. And I'm sure Mike Love thought, like, great.
Yeah, whatever.
Great.
I'm the star.
I'm the star. Yeah, okay, Brian, you go home and write the album.
Finally, he realized.
And then they got home from the tour, and that's when they were like, what are you doing?
What the fuck is this?
What is this?
He got really into, like, weed.
Yeah.
Smoking a lot of weed.
Then I think he did a little acid.
Well, California Girls was the first song he ever wrote on acid. And like the dun, 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 he just sat there for hours playing that on the piano.
So great. It's so great. But I mean, he was also like, he had a horrible upbringing. Like, his dad was a monster. Yeah, not only was his dad a monster, but his dad continued to be a monster into his adult life. Yeah, like, so his dad was like abusive, like physically abusive, like told Brian he was like garbage at, like, because his dad was a musician as well. But it seemed like he was one of these like musicians that never got as successful as he wanted to.
Right.
So I think he resented Brian's genius and success.
Yeah.
And so, like, not only was he abusive and like really unkind about the music that Brian would make, but at one point, like right under Brian's nose, sold his entire catalog.
Oh yeah.
Sold the whole catalog.
All
like
the
Brian.
publishing.
Yeah. He was like, no, and sold it for like
pennies.
Yeah, dog shit. And Brian was like,
"Oh, this ain't gonna be worth anything."
And Brian didn't. And Brian wasn't even thinking like a business. He's like, "It's my art.
That's my music.
Yeah, I created this. I went crazy making this.
Yeah.
You just sold it." He's like, "Yeah, nobody's gonna care about this."
His dad hit him so hard as a child that he was deaf in one ear.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And his dad was crazy. He'd make him. He'd put newspaper down in the kitchen and make Brian shit on it.
Yeah.
Who's he, Mr. Toots?
I wish Mr. Toots would shit where I put paper.
Yeah.
I mean, his dad was a monster.
Which is, and it's amazing with
like worse than the Jackson.
I'm up there.
I'm being serious. Like, I think he was worse than the Jackson dad.
Maybe.
But maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and then later in life, like, I mean, they chronicled it really well in that movie that Paul Dano did as young Brian Wilson. And who played older Brian Wilson? Oh, John Cusack.
John Cusack.
John Cusack.
Was a great movie.
Great movie. And it really showed, like, how in the 80s, into his adult life, into Brian Wilson's adult life, he was like, he had this caretaker that was like also abusive and keeping him medicated and keeping him under control. It was like the nightmare. What do they call that when they were trying to free Britney? Conservatorship. It was like the nightmare scenario of conservatorship, where Paul Giamatti, I guess, was keeping him as his conservator. That's what I learned from the movie.
Yeah.
It was Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Right?
What a monster.
Yeah, pig vomit. Yeah. He was keeping him under conservatorship, but yeah, he was like keeping him medicated and, I mean, frying his brain even worse than it already was. And I mean, I can't imagine. I was thinking about this yesterday. Being a genius, like a world, like Brian Wilson, to me is like a Steve Jobs genius.
I mean, he's considered the greatest American composer.
I would say
just on the level of like Beethoven and Bach and like, you know, like literal composers. Pavarotti, the
American
other
composers.
guys. Yeah. He's considered one of the great composers, not just musicians.
No, I think that's right. I mean, but like the idea of being this level of genius and constantly just being surrounded by total assholes. Like,
okay, now you're making it about yourself.
No, that is true. I think that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I wonder why you were thinking that.
I go like this. I go, who can relate to me? I go, well, fortunately, Brian Wilson was the only one.
And now he's gone.
Yeah. This earth-changing...
Just like Sam, why are you so broken up about this?
This earth-changing genius just surrounded by total idiots and assholes all the time. I get it, Brian.
I was thinking about that, though, yesterday. Like, how much, like, beautiful music could come out of just so much, like... Pain.
Yeah.
And like people around him that just weren't genuinely supportive, that weren't like, okay, like we have a genius here. Like, you know, you talk about Steve Jobs, a genius in technology, but he crafted this world. Like, he had the wherewithal to craft this world where he was a king and everybody just had to kind of bow to him. Like, Brian Wilson just had people...
Not at all times, though. He had to leave.
And then once he came back, he was like, but here's the only thing. I'm basically going to be a king.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a monarch, and you all have to bow to me. And they're like, Okay, and we'll get the Pepsi guy out. Yeah. But Brian Wilson spent like up until late in life. I think once he got his band together, like the band that was his band that helped him do Smile, they all like worshipped him.
They did because they recognized the genius. I think, you know,
but like
I think there was like a little bit of a resurgence in the 70s. I think the 80s were really tough on Brian
because he had that dude under that kept him under conservatorship,
and he put out an album. I believe it was called Love and Mercy, and it came out the same time as Kokomo, and he was not involved in Kokomo.
No,
and Kokomo was a smash, and I think people kind of look past the Love and Mercy, although it's a great record. At the time, people were like, "Oh, this guy's washed up,"
right?
And then
they didn't, but that's because they didn't really grasp what was going on. Like Kokomo is like a good pop radio song,
goofy, yeah.
But it's not like you're not listening to Kokomo going,
there's real depth here.
Yeah, like this is like Paul McCartney's not going like, oh, well, guys, we're never going to beat Kokomo.
I'm going to change my mind to favorite song.
Yeah. I thought God Only Knows was great, but this Kokomo, they mentioned all the islands, and somehow they all rhyme. I've never heard them rhyme like that before.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then I think in the 90s, I think it's, you know, that it was, you know, pretty removed from the 60s, obviously, so it was like you have time to reflect and go, oh, look at this genius.
Right.
Look at this. And then he put the band together, and the one guy, I forget his name, but he was the band leader who put the Austin Powers theme together. That was, he was in Brian Wilson's band.
That's a great theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so he was the one that was like, after the Pet Sounds tour, was like, we should revisit Smile. And went back. And then they started like dissecting what the Beach Boys recorded in the 60s. And then they started redoing it with the new band.
And also, by the way, like, and there's a great doc about it that Troy lent me the DVD. I kept it for years.
I don't even think I got it back.
No, you probably didn't get it back.
You got it back because you definitely got it back because it was signed, and I didn't want to like keep it.
I think I had to talk to Jess and get it back. I don't think
That's
you willingly brought it in.
You did have to go outside of No,
I should talk to Jess about a few things I'm missing.
I think I gave everything back.
No.
I gave your Disney book back.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I gave your microphone back.
No, you still have it.
Oh, okay. All right.
The microphone I lent you so you could start broadcasting from your basement?
Oh, shit.
Well, I built that studio 8 years ago.
I gave it to you 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's not like common law marriage. You don't just like get it now.
It doesn't now just belong to you.
This is how Brian Wilson felt. Everybody just telling me I'm wrong. This is bullshit.
So he went back. So if you're interested in hearing...
But also, by the way, in that doc, you can see that the band, like, even in the 2000s, when they were trying to do Smile, Brian Wilson was kind of driving them crazy. Yeah. Going like, no, we need a siren here. No, we need a fire truck to drive past here. Yeah. No, we need this. We need that. And they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Was there something, because I haven't watched that doc, and you know way more about this than I do, was there something that triggered him to take those tapes out of the vault, like, finally after all those years? Because I know that, you know, he went nuts. He thought he burned down another studio or another building, and he locked those tapes away. Was there something that triggered him to be like, okay, maybe now I can finish this?
Just his band.
His band just convinced him.
His band's like, because there was a song called Heroes and Villains.
Yeah.
And the Beach Boys released it, but that was supposed to be originally part of the Smile sessions. And like, this song is great. And then, like, you know, and those demos, by the way, too, they were out in bootleg form.
Sure.
So people heard them. So he was just like, man, some of this is great. And it was just little fragments, like what he did with Good Vibrations, where he'd go and just record a fragment of music.
Right.
So he's sitting on all these little fragments of music, and then the band helped him put those fragments together for an album.
But like, he also, like, because I'm sure he records Good Vibrations in this insane way, where he's recording fragments and he's bringing in like orchestras for 10 seconds and putting them out. And once this song comes out and it's amazing, in his head he's probably like, this is how I record music now.
Yeah.
This is how I do it, which is why he goes absolutely nuts. Because you gotta do 12 more, like Good Vibrations. Like, he's not, because he wasn't thinking commercially. He wasn't going, well, that's just the single, and I can kind of just do some album cuts now. Yeah. He's going, no,
I got
this is what I do. This is, and he keeps trying to one up, and it drives him nuts. And that, you know, we were talking about before the show, but that is like true. Like, he got to a point where like the record label would come over, and he'd make everybody get in the pool so they could have a meeting, because he was worried about being wiretapped all the time. He got, you know, horribly paranoid.
He was a paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah, he was schizophrenic. Like,
and he had auditory hallucinations.
Yes, which really is tough, because you got, number one, you only got one ear.
Right.
And number two, You're trying to be like, oh, I can hear the music. Oh, nope, there's a voice in there. They're blocking the music now. Like, I can't imagine just the turmoil going on. He came in here once, and he did an interview with Ron Bennington.
Yeah, that's where I got the picture.
Same.
You got a picture? How come you didn't post it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I was going to do it in black and white.
Yeah, I was hoping you would.
I should have. Because I thought I'd put, like, R.I.P. to this legend, and then people would comment, you mean your hair? And I was like, you're better off not.
Why even, draw attention?
Why draw attention to it, But yeah, so yeah, I mean.
Post it today.
Maybe I will. Because it is
my picture of Mike Love.
I mean, it is.
That's you shouldn't.
It's disrespectful.
That's very disrespectful.
Is it?
That guy sucks, dude.
Mike Love?
Sucks.
He's the Beach Boys.
I'll take Al Jardine over Mike Love.
Same a lot. Yeah.
I'll take John Stamos over Mike Love.
Kokomo, by the way, I was going to say that I very much associate Kokomo with the John Stamos era of the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
All due respect. And by the way, I respect John Stamos.
Me too, for sure.
Because he's just a Beach Boys fan that's like, I can play drums with you guys?
You want me to come play drums?
Right.
Dude,
it'd be like if The Undertaker wanted to dress me up as Paul Bearer and go wrestle. I'd be like, yeah, I'll be the new Paul Bearer. Like, everybody would be like, this is like a real bastardization, but
whatever.
I mean, who among us wouldn't want to be Paul Bearer?
He's one of those guys that is living the absolute best life.
Stamos.
Oh,
yeah.
He has been obsessed with Disney his whole life, and he just embraces it and just buys anything that he wants, goes whenever he wants, like just embraces that. He loves the Beach Boys. Plays with them for decades. Decades and decades. They were on Full House.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I love this.
That's what you should do.
That's what I'm going to do.
And that's what you should do. If you got a bunch of money and power, like, yeah, so much better than what most of those maniacs in Hollywood do.
Right?
Yeah. Like just fulfill your
fantasies.
The stuff that you loved when you were a kid. Yeah. Yeah, but so like, just having like assholes around him all the time, he grows up in this horrible environment. He finally starts to come into his own and is like, oh, I can be a genius composer. And he's got his whole band, which is also family members, cousins and whatnot, going like, you're crazy. You're a crazy person. I don't know what you're doing. He finally is able to prove everybody wrong. The music itself drives him crazy.
Yeah.
He has caretakers that are keeping him medicated. Like, I mean...
It's a very sad story.
It's a horrifically sad story. This guy lived a tortured existence and gave us some of the most amazing art. Like, he made all of our, who appreciate him, I say our lives better.
Yeah.
Like, he made my life better, he made your life better. Meanwhile, like, didn't get to enjoy any of it himself.
I don't think so, no.
And Mike Love's got to run around, like, playing all his songs. As if he's like, these aren't the best ones, by the way.
Prancing around on stage.
Right.
Like a turd.
Yeah, Mike Love's playing.
Prancing like a turd still?
He is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because they're playing Good Vibrations.
Of course they are. Yeah, they close with it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing all the Pet Sound stuff, and he thinks to himself he's the genius that came up with Pet Sound.
Right. Because, the way Brian wanted to do it, no, it's in the performance. Yeah, Pet Sounds is in the performance. That's right.
And they hated each other, by the way. They sued each other, I believe, a couple times.
Yeah.
It was a messy relationship.
Yeah, well, I get it. When you think, listen, there's a band called Oasis, and they're literally brothers, but it's like, it's tough when there's one guy who's the front man and one guy who is the band.
Yeah.
And the front man never wants to be like, no. Like, you're just the guy we put on the billboard. Like, you have nothing to do with this. Like, you're just enjoy. Like, you're the double in the Prestige. The guy who's under the stage is the genius. You're just the guy who enjoys the applause, right? So just go enjoy the applause,
yeah,
Mike. And Mike wanted to be like, no, I'm also the guy under the stage. No, you're not, dude.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
He didn't write any of those songs?
He wrote parts.
I mean...
But it's Brian's music.
Like, yeah, he probably has a big, hefty writing credit on Kokomo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice chunk.
A nice, writing credit on Kokomo. California Girls was the first one he wrote on, like, heavy amounts of acid. Yeah. I would just, do you know how long I would watch video of Brian Wilson sitting at a piano going, boom, 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 boom. Because even not on acid, you could see where that would be addicting. Because it really is.
It's hypnotic.
Boom, 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 boom. And you're just waiting for, well, East Coast. You're just waiting for it. It's coming. It's coming. They're gonna say it, but you're hanging on it until they do, and it can take hours.
Imagine that pressure though in the '60s, where you're like, your job is to write hit songs,
right?
And it's like you write a hit, so you write Deuce Coupe, you write all the time.
boom, 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 boom. That forever.
And it's so simple,
yeah,
but it's so cool.
Yes.
And that was like Brian's. He would just take things that you think are like simplistic, but they're not. They're complex, and then just have these like this simplistic nature to it.
But it's also like I think people take for granted too, like the sound of it, where it's like, because whatever that is, like that like high sound up there,
organ, yeah.
The organ.
Yeah.
But the fact that he knows to like dip it down, and then he brings in with the harmony, like that wasn't.
It's incredible.
It's still completely atypical of music.
Sure.
And starting this like low, and then
and the tempo
yeah,
picks up, and it's like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Like Brian Wilson, every like time a boy band gets tired of being pop artists and wants to be like, no, I want to be a real artist. It's like, it's just so wild because ultimately, like, the music is what he gave to the world, and that's like, he had to give up everything else.
I know, it's just, yeah. If there's a couple good documentaries out there about him.
Yeah, and it seems like even the people who appreciate him are like, I want to, like, people who came in later in life that it's like, no, I want to take care of him. Like he deserves to be taken care of. I want to take care of him. But he's nuts.
Yeah.
And so he's very difficult to care for because he's a crazy person.
I've seen him play, I'd probably say 6 or 7 times. Half of them were good. Half of them, it was almost painful to watch.
Yeah. I mean, even when he was in, I remember listening to the interview that Ron did with him. And like, sometimes he'd be locked into a question and give this amazing answer. And then sometimes he'd either give a one word or sometimes he'd just ignore the question. And then at the end of the interview, remember he just walked out?
Yeah.
He just walked out. It wasn't even like a kind of wrap up. He'd go, well, Brian, like, thanks for coming. Okay, thank you. And he walked right out.
Poor guy.
I mean, oh.
And then we met him out in the hallway.
Out in the lobby, yeah. We waited until like late in the afternoon.
Yeah, and he finally came, and I got my picture. And, I wanted to tell him, what his music meant to me. And it just... I mean, yeah,
that's another thing. That's like a Twilight Zone thing. The torture that... Can you imagine, like, making that much of an impact on people, but when people tell you how much they appreciate it, you can't receive it.
Yeah, you don't even know what's going on.
Right. Like, people are like, you don't understand, you changed my life. And he's like, okay.
Where's lunch?
Right. Like, I don't know what's going on. I get that you're making sounds with your mouth. I don't know where I am.
I see that there's another human being here.
Yeah.
Where do I walk to next?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man. Like, you changed my life, and like, on the most important day of my life, I wanted your music to be the soundtrack to that. Okay. Where do I go?
Do I have another interview?
Yeah, where do I
go?
Like, you're just lost in a room.
Where's the car to go to the hotel?
Yeah. Okay, come on, Brian.
Poor guy. And then I think a year ago, or maybe it was a year or two ago, his wife died, and she was really his rock.
Right.
And like you knew when she died, it was kind of like, okay, this is probably, because they would show pictures of him, they'd post pictures here and there, and the poor guy just seemed like he was pretty.
Didn't he have dementia?
Yeah, he was in bad shape.
I mean, his brain was fried. But he lived to 82.
That's
for what he went through.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle that he made it to 82. Yeah, because even seeing him 10 years ago or more when he was touring with the Beach Boys, it was like, he did not look good.
No.
Like, he'd just sit at the piano. He wasn't even playing.
I saw he played a free show in Coney Island, Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get there, we got good seats, got there super early. He comes out. He literally just kept his hands on the keyboard and he just stared out. Ugh. And the band just played the music.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so sad.
Right. And it's almost like you go because you're like, I want to experience this, but then you're like, I don't know.
This doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, because you hear the music and you want to take it to the next step, but it's like, it's just such a unique circumstance because it's just, you have to just, the music is it. Like, you just have to sit with the music, and that's what it is.
But then it felt bad because it's like, why are they, does he want to be here doing this?
Right, and then you go, no, like, he shouldn't.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing this.
No.
But I think just music, he loved music so much, and it was what gave him strength and gave him life. And
who knows, maybe he was receiving it while he was on stage, right?
Yeah. Maybe he was enjoying being there. The band loved him.
Yeah.
So he enjoyed being around people that loved him.
Yeah.
It was, but when he was on point and you'd see Smile and they'd play the record start to finish. I mean, you're just like, I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because it was just so special and magical. And it's like if you want to dive into some Brian Wilson, that record did come out, and it's under Brian Wilson's name, Smile, and it's a masterpiece. It
is amazing.
Yeah,
and you realize when you listen to it now, like you can appreciate it now, but had it actually come out, it's very interesting to think about like what kind of impact it could have had. I mean, luckily the lead single still had it. I mean, Good Vibrations is like, one of the most famous songs ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like that lead single did have the impact that it was supposed to have, but you wonder if like what the album would have done. But I mean, it's almost like, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but imagine that. Imagine being like the label's like, okay, you got to go make a hit. He makes that hit.
Yeah.
And it's that level.
Right.
And it's like, okay, keep doing it.
Yeah, that's
like, 12 more, please.
Yeah. We need an album full.
And, the Beatles had, Paul and John had each other, and they had George Martin, the producer.
Right.
And
Brian.
Ringo.
And also didn't have an abusive past and schizophrenia.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They for whatever problems they had, they could live life somewhat normally.
Somewhat normal. But yeah, Brian had himself. That's who he had, and it's just crazy that all that music came from one guy.
I think sometimes people do. That's a really good point that you made, because I think sometimes people don't really take into account the pressure of, well, what's next?
Yeah.
Because when somebody creates something great, a movie, music, whatever, like, you just assume they can. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do.
That's a faucet. It could just keep coming.
Right. That's the level that he's playing at. So as long as he keeps playing, we'll just keep getting these. And like the amount of work that went into that, and knowing, okay, now there's expectations. Mm-hmm. Like fans, the studio, my family, the label. They're asking, when's it coming? And they want something as good as this. And it is. I mean, it's enough to drive you crazy. It's no wonder why like Tarantino spends years between films, because he knows there'll be no forgiveness if it's not as good as the last one. There will be no forgiveness from anyone, from the label. And
it's got to be incredibly hard.
We were talking about the Pee-wee doc. That will paint over your parking spot then on the Monday. It could be years of good times. Mm-hmm. Fail one time, you get one, and that's it. Like one strike, you're out.
And then thinking like, okay, like I got to come back from this. That pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Well, yeah. Rest in peace to Brian Wilson, man.
Yeah. Have to be listening to some Beach Boys this weekend.
Hell yeah.
I'll go on a Beach Boys bender.
Yeah, you will.
I'm about due.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but it's like summer. It's really good, feel good summer music.
Well, it's the sounds of summer.
It's exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you put on Sounds of Summer, and once it gets to Kokomo, you're like, I'm gonna start from the top again.
Let's rewind.
Yeah, let me get to the top. I'm gonna go back to track 1. Yeah. Rest in peace to Brian Wilson. And then, I mean, it's not exactly Brian Wilson level, but
what?
For a generation,
us, for sure.
Yeah,
one of the king and a queen.
That's right. One of the famous VJs from MTV was Ananda Lewis, and Ananda Lewis came on just when sort of it was like that TRL era when MTV. It wasn't just for like, oh, there's this thing going on over here. Like it became super mainstream, and like it was on all the time when you were growing up. It was where you got your music from. It was where you got everything. And Ananda Lewis was one of those, like the second she started, it felt like at MTV, she was one of those that you just instantly connected with. She was on all the time. She was top tier VJ.
That's right.
From the beginning. And it was announced yesterday that she died at 52 after a lengthy battle with breast cancer. And it's another one. I mean, it's people's choices, I guess. But it's another one of those frustrating stories. And she says, I can't imagine living with this, the peace that you have to make with it. But she said that basically she didn't want to get a double mastectomy. So she tried to do other things, like non-surgical things to get the tumor out or to like shrink the tumor or whatever. And none of it worked. And if she'd just gotten the surgery, maybe she'd be okay.
You wonder why?
I mean, some people, I don't know. Steve Jobs did the same thing.
He went like holistic, right?
Yeah. Because Steve Jobs was like, I don't want my body opened. I don't know if you get super spiritual and you go, this is my vessel. She said there was like a quote from her from a year or two ago Well, she regretted, like she said, I should have. You know, she said while she was alive, I should have gotten the surgery.
Isn't that what Steve Jobs ended up saying? Like close to his death?
Yeah. I should have just done it. Like but she said, like, I don't know, it sounded like she got very spiritual and she felt like her body was like this intelligent being.
Mm-hmm. Like, she said, my plan at first was to get out the excessive toxins in my body. I felt like my body is intelligent, and I know that to be true. Our bodies are brilliantly made. I decided to keep my tumor and try to work it out of my body a different way. I wish I could go back.
See, and that's what it is. It's like when you say that when she said our bodies are brilliantly made, I was like, okay, that's like a God thing. Yeah, you know, that's what it strikes me as. And that's fine as a belief, but at a point it's like we got to bring in science too.
And we're also in a fallen world.
How so?
Well, because you get diseases.
Right. Yes. And diseases, science can help you with those. Like modern science and doctors can help you with those. Like I know, you know, you want to believe in the spirituality of everything, but at a point, you know,
it's you trust medicine.
And you know, maintain your spirituality, but you know what you do? Both.
Yeah, you can do you
do both.
They're not
exclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not one or the other. Yeah. God's not going to be like, you know, I was going to let you into heaven, but you went to that hospital when you were sick, and I was kind of hoping that you just put a little dirt on it and walk it off. Yeah, it's always a sad thing when you hear about that, but yeah, it's a bummer, man.
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
She was only there for 4 years.
That's wild. Yeah,
97 to 2001.
But those are the years.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you 97 to 2001 is that lifetime. That's it. That's the TRL sort of era. And you saw it built because like TRL as a pop culture mainstay wasn't a long run necessarily.
No, but at the time there was nothing bigger than it.
That's exactly right. It was impactful. Like it was shutting down.
You had hundreds of people just crowding in Times Square every single day.
Yeah, remember when like if they had big stars in, they would have to put the blinders up and shut the windows because I mean it was before they put a bunch of potted plants all over Times Square. People could still drive through it. Yeah. But they were like stopping traffic. Like it was like we can't. This is unsafe. We have to M&M's up there. Yeah. We have to put the blinding shades down.
Tom Green's premiering his Bum Bum song.
That's right. Glenn Humplick's phone number is available for everyone to see through the window. Yeah, I mean that's it. Like that's the Tom Green era, right? Where it's like Tom Green wasn't on for a long time, but because it was within that, 96, 97 to 2001, 2002 window of MTV, it's for a generation. It might as well be a lifetime. It was everything.
Yeah. Golden era of television. For me,
of television,
MTV.
There was nothing bigger than MTV.
No, yeah, you're right.
MTV 96, 97,
even the early 90s, like 94.
Yeah,
but it was still a little. It was on the come up.
Yes,
right. It was brewing.
But you'd watch like MTV Raps,
sure,
and they'd have like
we know what you would watch.
120 minutes
grind.
Love the grind. I mean, Downtown Julie Brown, Wubba Wubba Wubba.
She wasn't on the grind.
But she was on Club MTV.
But Eric Nies was on the grind.
I loved Eric Nies.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy. Still is.
He is. He actually has maintained his looks, yeah.
I want to get Eric Nies in here.
Oh, yeah. Eric Nies, Troy, actually, he has a funny story about the grind. Tell Eric how you felt.
Sam, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like 93, 94 to like 96-ish was the build-up.
Yeah.
And then it exploded.
Yeah.
Like you had to watch it.
But Headbangers Ball, that was another MTV show that was incredible.
Ricky Rackman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 120 minutes, Matt Pinfield. I mean, it's just, that's where you went to find music. Kennedy's amazing.
Yeah.
Still is.
You like her work now more than ever.
Yeah, she's had her.
Imagine if Chris Cuomo got Kennedy on.
That'd be sick.
It would be,
well,
right?
It's a conflict of interest.
Is it? Because different networks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. News Nation is highly competitive. Eric in Colorado. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys.
Hey,
so, unfortunately, with some of this breast cancer, even having a double mastectomy is no guarantee you're going to get rid of it. I've got a friend who, she was diagnosed first in 2017, had a double mastectomy, thought she was free and clear. In 2020, it came back. She had, like, even more serious surgery and whatnot. and she just posted a comment on Facebook about 4 weeks ago. It's back, and this time there is absolutely nothing they can do for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horrible...
She's 54, and she's sitting here looking at a terminal diagnosis.
I can't imagine that what you have to go through mentally to just realize that this is just reality. That's horrible, man. That sucks. Yeah. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I mean, look, you got to try everything, but just knowing like, well, I think but it's better to say I tried everything and it is what it is than fuck, I wish I had tried that one other thing. I should have tried one other thing.
Especially because there's so many instances of people saying that.
Yeah.
You should be like, you know what? I should learn from these people.
Right. Nobody's ever been like, I'm dying, but the one thing I'm glad I didn't do was try surgery.
Else,
I'm glad I didn't do surgery.
And chemo is hell. I mean, I know people that have gone through it.
Yeah.
So I could see not looking forward to that, but
look, it beats not being here.
That's true.
You know what I mean? That's like, when people get old. They go like, yeah, I mean, being old sucks, but like being dead is worse.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are dead.
Oh.
What? That's not a good transition?
No.
That's terrible.
Well, it's an upbeat morning show.
Well, that's not... You're dragging people down, bro.
Yeah, what are you going to say
It's been an obituary for 45 minutes around here.
Well, I didn't kill everybody yesterday.
Yeah, speaking of dead people...
I'm not the one who's killing everybody. They're dying. What can I tell you?
Dropping like flies out here.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's dying. I don't know what to tell you. It's not on me. I got to talk about what's going on.
All right, now who?
I didn't kill... Pee-wee's dead.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I watched the doc, though.
You finished it?
Oh, yeah. Great doc. So the Pee-wee documentary is... It's great. Incredible. It's great. It's a two-parter. It's on HBO Max. And you call it it's what's it called? Pee Wee Herman as himself or something like that? Yeah, Pee Wee Herman as himself. And thematically, it really gets into what an incredibly private person Paul Reubens was. And how he protected that privacy. And that he was also kind of a nut himself in that he had a lot of control issues. He was extremely wanting to be in control of everything around him, which, by the way, I mean, I get it, like wanting to kind of be in environments that you can control, but when you are that controlling, that is enough to drive a person crazy because you can't control everything. It's an impossibility. Trust me, I've tried. and yeah, and it was just a really interesting thing because you watch this doc and you do get the sense that it wasn't all great all the time, that it seemed like he put this documentarian through hell to get this doc done.
Yeah.
And that he was one of these guys. It seemed like at the height of Pee-wee fame, he was an asshole. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the people that were around him.
I mean, he's one of the biggest people in the world. Yeah. I think that really got to his head.
Yeah. And not only was he one of the biggest people in the world, but he was one of the biggest people in the world based on a character that he created completely by himself, and he has autonomy over. Like, nobody can tell Paul how to do Pee-wee. So when Pee-wee becomes a big success, it's not just you're successful as a performer. It's this whole world that now exists, and there is an economy is all based on what's going on in your brain.
Yeah.
But you know what struck me the most about the doc, and they spend it's good that it's a two-parter, because a lot of times I don't like it when they spend a ton of time on them before they were famous, because it's like, I want to get to the stuff that I knew. But I think that this one really does a great job of kind of adding depth to who he was as a performer, what motivated the Pee-wee character, what motivated him to, become famous and everything, how this thing started in the Groundlings and what it was originally and how it evolved into a kids' TV show and everything. But I got to tell you, and I don't know, maybe I just didn't contextualize it properly. You know what I think I got the most emotional for watching? When they went in to Pee-wee's Playhouse, the TV show, taking off. I just listening to the theme and watching the intro and then watching all these clips, and I forgot how obsessed I was with this show as a kid. I forgot that it was for a period of time, it was my whole world. I forgot that when I was probably 5 years old, and my cousins got married, And they were like 7, so that was crazy. And they were cousins, so it was fucked up. No, no, my cousin got married to the person who would become my cousin-in-law. But I went to their. It was
thing?
It was what cousin-in-law? Well, you call your cousins.
Yeah, what would you call them?
I mean, well, I think it doesn't come up because most of the time your cousins are your age. But I have older cousins because my parents waited 11 years before they had kids.
I feel like I would just say my cousin's wife or my cousin's husband.
Yeah, but you're a kid and you grow up with that person.
Yeah.
So it's like they're the cousins. It's really more of an uncle-aunt relationship because they're literally adults getting married. I'm 5 years old.
Yeah.
But my point is, I had forgotten my only and it all came flooding back to me. My only thing about the wedding, they were like, you have to wear a suit because it's a wedding, and I was like, it has to be a Pee Wee suit. I want a red bow tie. I want a gray suit. Like as a kid, I'm like, no. I want like not like a costume. Like if I have to wear a suit, I want a gray suit and a red bow tie.
You have pictures of this?
100%. My parents were like, yeah. I got to find it.
Yeah, you do.
I got to find it.
I know your dad's listening right now.
100%. Because I remember specifically going, I want a Pee Wee suit. My mom going crazy. And it wasn't perfect. Like it might have been a red polka dotted bow tie or something like that. But that
was enough.
Yeah. But you can tell, when I tell you that was the motivation behind it, you go, oh yeah, I see what you were trying to pull off there. Because I was so obsessed. I had all the action figures. I had Talking Pee-wee. I had Talking Cherry, like the big chair for Talking Pee-wee. And like, and it
Cowboy
all...
Carl?
Huh?
You have Cowboy Carl?
Cowboy Curtis.
Curtis, sorry.
I had the action figures. I had Cowboy Curtis. And like some of the characters I forgot. Obviously, I remember Cowboy Curtis. Obviously, I remembered Miss Yvonne.
Yes.
But I had forgotten the King of Cartoons. And I was obsessed with him when I was a kid. And like, I never even knew that he was like a blaxploitation actor from like Blackula.
No, because why would we know that?
No,
you know,
no, and you don't realize like, how much of that like sort of like underlying like sort of almost like a John Waters-y influence was going into Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like he was putting all of his subtext in for the stuff that he loved, but still keeping it like this is a legit kids show. Yeah, I had totally forgotten that I was obsessed with King of Cartoons. Because he would come in, the king would be there, and throw on a cartoon for us to watch. I loved it. I loved it when he showed up at Pee-wee's Playhouse. I mean, and of course, you know, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is one of the greatest movies of all time. Sure. But, and I didn't even really, I guess I
Big Top Pee-wee.
Well, Big Top Pee-wee, I almost didn't want... I wanted to shut the doc off before we got to Big Top Pee-wee.
Right, because there is no, like, in retrospect with that movie. It sucks. It's not a good movie.
That movie sucks. But I'll tell you what was interesting. As soon as he was like, when I was like 12, whatever, however old he was, 12, whatever, when his family moved to Sarasota, Florida, and he said that there was like a whole circus culture in Sarasota, that the Ringling Brothers were there for the spring or whatever, and like, people who lived there were circus performers, and immediately I was like, this is where Big Top Pee-wee comes from.
Absolutely.
As soon as they got to that part in the doc, I was like, okay, this is going to come back when he does Big Top Pee-wee. And then it reminded me, oh no, they're going to talk about Big Top Pee-wee. That sucks. That's like, because you know.
Well, you have to, because it's like, it's the first time Pee-wee fails.
Right. But you know, like, knowing Pee-wee, you're like, oh shit. Because I'm having a great time. I'm like, this is the rise of Paul Reubens. I'm looking at him as a performer. I know it's going to pay off. I know his dreams are going to come true. I know he's going to do that. I know Phil Hartman's going to show up. I know the whole thing's going to happen. And then I'm like, oh, wait. They're going to get to Big Top Pee-wee. Oh, no. They're going to get to jack off in the movie theater. Oh, no. I don't want that part.
Talk about the whole thing.
I know. I don't want that act.
That was such a culture shock. Nobody had ever seen that guy before. Who's this guy?
I didn't know who he was. He described it as his Charles Manson mugshot.
I mean, it is, because, like, who's this guy with long hair?
Yeah, because
and a goatee.
And a slightly receding hairline.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. He doesn't have a receding hairline.
I don't think that's him. I think that's someone else. I think that must be mistaken.
Officer, you have the wrong guy.
Also, like, Paul Reubens, and they didn't discuss this in the doc, but I'm sad that he's passed on, because I would love to interview him to ask him, like, it seems like he can grow hair very quickly. And I would love to ask him about that, because it seemed like if he was just like, oh, I'd like to have a full giant beard, it would just take him 2 weeks. He had a full beard, and then he shaved the whole thing off. Then he grow it right back. You know what I mean?
Some people are just hairy like that.
I know, and I never knew that about Pee-wee. So I would love to ask him about that.
I'd say that's a remarkable trait that he has.
I'd say it's remarkable. I'd say your hair grows.
That's the question.
Well, I was really curious about that as I was watching, because they go to clips of him when he was younger, and it seemed like every time Pee-wee was off the air for 2 weeks, he'd have a full beard and hair down to his shoulders. Yeah. And I would love to ask him about how he did that. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, I'll never get the chance.
No.
I didn't realize he was
Jack Aroffer?
No, I knew that.
Oh.
But I didn't realize he was such a hoarder. I don't know if hoarder is the right word.
Well, what's interesting is
collector.
Collector is the word they used. I could see where somebody would say hoarder.
Because it's not like, you walk into his house and you can't walk around. Like, he's not that type of hoarder.
No, but there are only paths that you may walk around.
But it's a lot of stuff, and it's all cataloged, and it's all.
But that's what it is. That's the difference. It's a lot of stuff. It's not like one thing. It's just stuff. It's almost like the walls on Pee-wee's Playhouse that are all like cluttered with every pop culture reference you can imagine is how he literally lived his life. You know, like that's how he liked to have things around him. And you know what's funny too? Remember in the doc when like his phone starts going off and he goes, "Oh, I have to send a happy birthday text."
Yes.
I send him once an hour.
Yes.
It's 100% true because I have a friend who would get Paul Rubin's birthday text.
Really?
Yes, and that was 100% true. He's like, "Yeah, it's something Paul does. Like he just texts nonstop on your birthday."
No shit.
Yeah,
and then he's just got all these names like with birthdays like.
Yeah, whoever's his friend, like he just texts and texts and texts. I didn't know Debbie Mazar. Mm-hmm. I didn't know she was friends like that with Paul Rubens.
Yeah, like I guess like growing up, there's a lot of stuff that like the news doesn't get to you. You know?
Exactly right.
Because that was very public.
But we weren't reading the tabloids.
No,
right?
we weren't reading tabloids. Yeah. Just like when I was a kid, I didn't realize, and I told Troy this after we watched the documentary, I didn't realize that Pee-wee's Big Adventure came before the show.
I didn't know that either. I mean, I knew that before the doc, but I didn't know that growing up.
Growing up, I was just like, oh, this is the guy that I know from the show.
That's right. I saw it on a movie channel. I thought for a long time, I thought it was a movie based on the show.
Yeah, so did I. But like, I mean, the movie came out when I was like 4, so it's not like I went to the theaters to see it.
It's such a genius movie.
It's brilliant.
But it's interesting, too. He said that like, and this is that, I mean, going back to The Prestige, where I said Mike Love is the guy on stage, it's a disease when you want to be the guy on stage. Like, it's a much healthier thing to not want to be the guy on stage, but a lot of people want the adulation. They want to be the guy on stage. And that's how I felt when Paul was saying, like, he made this Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and Tim Burton got all this credit, and this guy got all this credit, but he didn't feel like he got enough credit as a producer, as the brain behind it. And it's like, bro, it's your movie. Like everybody knows it's your movie. You don't need, nobody's even thinking about that.
People love the credit.
Yeah.
Of course.
They need the credit.
Yes. And they need to have their hands on everything. And that's why he goes and does Big Top Pee-wee. And he does it completely his own way. And he doesn't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. Like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, it was like, let me show you what I can do. Big Top Pee-wee he goes and does. He doesn't have to prove it to anyone anymore. And he's hands-on with everything. And at that point in his life, because it is after the show, nobody can tell him nothing. You know what I mean?
They want to give him that freedom. They're like, go do this. You're obviously successful.
When we give you that freedom, it works. And then he gets indulgent. That's what happens. When people get indulgent with that freedom and stop thinking about the audience and think about like, well, I'm a genius, luckily. So I'll just do what I like.
Good for you guys. I am a genius.
Yeah, good news. That's when they start fucking up. You know, nobody wants to see Pee-wee making out with some Italian broad.
No.
You know what I mean? People don't like that.
But then he bounced back quick with the Christmas special. He's like, we got to get this out.
He did bounce back quick with the Christmas special.
People loved it.
I mean, it's a great Christmas special. It's one of the great Christmas specials.
So sometimes that failure is like, oh boy, we got to.
You sometimes you need the kick in the ass.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes for sure you need the kick in the ass. Yeah, and then I got sad again when he was like, when they showed him like shooting the last episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse. I was like, fuck, man. I wish Pee-wee's Playhouse just lasted forever. I'd still be watching that on Saturday mornings.
Still?
Yeah, hell yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It was a good show.
I like that him and all the guys that worked with him that were making the sketches of like what things look like and everybody behind the scenes, they were all stoners.
Yeah, stoners
and they were
and punk rock dudes.
a lot of weed and punk rock dudes.
Yep.
And that's something like as a kid, you don't ever think that this guy's like high as hell.
No, but you wonder if your parents were like, oh yeah, like we know what this is.
You wonder, like 80s, it felt like it was a bit naive and maybe just because we were kids. Like I don't know if our parents were like, oh, this is kind of stoner humor.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's true because in the 80s, the parents would have grown up probably in the 50s.
Yeah.
And maybe they were a little bit more innocent, naive.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't like, because if you grew up in the 60s, I mean, it could have, but you would have been young parents to then have kids that are that old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. generationally, how it's like it's not really are you in tune with what's going on now, it's how in tune were you back then, because that all gets reflected now.
And it's funny that it was it was a children's show.
Yeah.
But like stoners loved it.
Of course. I mean, you can go back and watch it now.
Yeah.
And go like this fucks. You know what I mean? Like this show rules. Yeah. Yeah, and then they did have the comeback arc when he gets to actually be an actor as Paul Rubens.
Oh yeah.
Which was great. And by the way, like Blow?
I was going to say Blow is the first thing I think I remember Paul Rubens being in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember
like I know he did some sitcoms, like some guest appearances.
I remember that he was in the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie that the series was based on.
I skipped that one.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie is a classic.
I've never seen it,
but it was almost like it was almost like marketing. Like, oh, that's so funny that Pee-wee's a vampire. It wasn't like Paul Rubens as an actor, but Blow is like because he's great in Blow. And he's just Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like an essential...
He's just an actor, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an essential part of the story. And, by the way, his character in Blow gets, I believe, referenced in the Fat Joe song, Lean Back.
Really?
Yes. There's a reference to his character in Derek for Real.
That's
yeah.
What was it? It was Buffy that his idea of what to look like was...
The mugshot. Yeah, he said, I want to look as much like my mugshot as possible.
Is that?
It's so funny. It's so funny. But, I mean, he was like, you know... He was like a weirdo artist guy.
Yeah.
I mean, his comeback at the MTV Awards is the greatest
incredible
thing of all time.
Do you remember watching that and being like, oh my God, I can't believe he's here.
It was the greatest thing anybody had pulled off because basically like, and it was also very interesting, right? Because when Pee-wee got busted in the adult movie theater, I go like this, Pee-wee had his Pee-wee out.
You say that.
I just started.
But by Pee-wee, you mean
Ween. Yeah, but you know, you can use that joke with your friends. Remember, Pee-wee had his Pee-wee out. Nobody's ever done that before. Since 91, no one said it. But like, he was like, you know, kind of a recluse for a while. He went to Florida, lived with his parents, and then he moved back, but like, put like blackout.
He hit out in my town in New Jersey. He hit out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Duke
It wasn't
Estate.
Florida. It was Jersey, where his parents were.
He
then.
hit out at the Duke Estate, which is also where Michael Jackson hit out, and it's literally 10 minutes from where I grew up. And you drive through that area all the time. They own so much property there. You can't see the house. You can never see the house from the road, but like you drive through the Duke Estate to get everywhere.
No wonder. So that's where shamed people go to hide.
Yeah.
No wonder that's where you grew up.
No. No, it was very public.
So he hires this PR firm that's like, hey, I'm Pee-wee and my life is ruined. Like, how do I fix this? And he was like, I can't leave my house. I'm surrounded by photographers. And I thought this part was interesting just from I never would have thought of it, but how do celebrities handle this PR? Like, why do they make the decisions that they made? And the PR firm basically said, you just have to take the steam out of everything. So the Band-Aid's been peeled off and the first thing's been done. So the first thing we got to do is get a picture of you in public. And now the first picture's been taken and we'll hire the guy that we like. We'll set it all up, go to this restaurant, he'll take a picture, and now the first picture has been taken, which means any other pictures of you have, you know, they're not worth anything compared to what it was going to be worth. And it worked, like, right? All the paparazzi go away. And then they were like, okay, next we have to give people don't want Paul Rubens' response. They want Pee-wee's response. So we just have to give them that taste of Pee-wee, and then I think they can move on. And then so that's why Paul Rubens came out at the MTV Awards. And scroll back just a little bit, Mike. And this is how it went. This is like the 1991 MTV Music Awards after his scandal, his Pee-wee with a Pee-wee scandal. That's what I call it. He's doing the voice.
You can tell there that he is very comfortable.
You can watch him fall back into it.
Thank you very much.
Like, okay, I made the right decision.
And look, he's breathing it in, and that's Paul breathing it in.
Thank you. good jokes lately?
Oh, it's perfect. I mean, it's one of the best timed lines.
Oh, so funny I forgot to laugh.
All right. It's one of the best timed lines ever.
Yeah. And that's why it lives on.
That is why, yeah, 100%. But it's also, I think, one of those moments for him where, like, and this has happened for other people too, where the news is making this huge deal out of it, right? And like the groups, the like, oh, won't somebody think of the children groups are like, you know, pearl clutching and stuff like that. But most people are like, wait, he just went to a porno theater like in his free time? Like, I don't care. Like, he
says he didn't jerk off, but even if he did,
I don't care if he jerked off. He says he didn't.
He says he didn't.
But I mean, also like, but the whole idea of like indecent exposure in a jerk-off theater? Like,
is that what you do there?
Yeah, I mean, what about everybody else's dicks? Did you arrest everybody?
Why just mine?
Yeah. So, like, and I think most people, you know, who weren't like caught up in everything, were like, yeah, we don't care. We love Pee-wee. We want Pee-wee back. And so Pee-wee coming out, I think, and making it okay by being in character and going, no, I'm Pee-wee and I'm here, made it okay for everybody else. And then everybody in that building could cheer for him. And then everybody watching could be like, oh, okay, I was thinking the same thing. I thought it was fine.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it was fine. I was just going to say that too. And now he's able to bounce back.
That's all it takes. It just takes someone, and it was him,
right,
to just, you know,
show me a group of people saying it's okay, so that I can go like it's
everyone
okay.
Will say it's okay.
How old were you in '91?
I was 10.
So, I mean, somebody had explained to you what was going on, right? Like,
I don't think I knew about the scandal when I was growing up.
So you didn't see this live, what had happened?
No, you know why? I'll tell you why. I was in England.
Oh, okay.
I was in England. That's why I missed. Yeah, because I was like 7 or 8, like 7 years old maybe, and I was in England, and it wasn't as big a story. I mean, it was a story, but it wasn't as big a story in England as it was in America. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think I didn't find out about it until after it had happened. And then I remember people like talking about it in school and stuff like that. But like
in England,
I don't know for sure if it was in England or because I got back to the States in '93.
Did you hear about Pee-wee?
That's how they sounded. It was like cocky.
He was jerking off.
Right.
He was whacking off. Was he whacking off?
He was tallywhacking. Yeah, I went to the same school as Oliver Twist. My parents were like, listen, if there's some guy named Fagin trying to get you to join his group of young pickpockets, don't do it. I said, all right, I got it. I got it. Yeah, so I don't think I saw this when it happened.
No, I was too young.
Right. And and maybe you did.
I remember.
Well, yeah, you were like 17, right?
Yeah.
I was like 40 at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you produced this show, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remembered being in the news and thinking to myself, like, why would he jerk off in a theater?
Yeah, that's right. I guess because when we're a kid, when you first hear the story, you're like, he just went into a movie theater. And I think that's how the first way I heard the story was that he went into a movie theater and pulled his penis out.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Like, and they're like, that's why.
Troy?
That's why he's crazy. Yeah. It was a joke. It was funny. It's the 90s.
No, it was a joke.
They go, it's the 90s.
It's
you know what
91.
they say? They say this. It's funny.
It's like the original chicken jockey.
That's right. Chicken jockey. Woo. Helicoptering.
And then after this happened, then Pee-wee kind of went away then, and then he started his acting career, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Big Top Pee-wee had already come out. The series had already ended.
Yeah.
You know, he'd already filmed the last episode. So it became like, okay, he wasn't like such a pariah at that point. And then, like, and I always knew this was bullshit. I remember when it came out and it was bullshit. But trying to put kiddie porn charges on him later in life.
I forgot all about that.
That was fuckery.
And it was.
That was complete fuckery.
They did him dirty.
Especially because that guy from Beetlejuice was actually, like, a bad guy. Jeffrey Jones, who he got, like, looped in with. Yeah. That guy was a bad guy. But, like, clearly, like, this wasn't, like, Pee-wee was not a pedophile. Like, he wasn't, and the fact that, and he's
muscle magazines from the 30s.
Right. Along with everything else that you could possibly imagine.
Exactly. And there was, like, I believe, like, one photo.
He said it was one photo.
One photo of, like, a guy that looked young.
Somewhere in a magazine.
Yeah.
And he's got stacks of magazines.
Yeah.
Like, they were looking for him.
Of course.
They wanted to get him because they wanted the headline.
And why are they fucking with Pee-wee at that point?
Like, don't fuck with Pee-wee, dude. Why?
Were you, after you watched the documentary, like, are you or weren't you bummed that he's gone, that we can't, like, give him his flowers?
I was bummed that we couldn't give him his flowers, and I was really bummed that charge and accusation affected him as much as it did until he died.
Yes.
Because
I feel like he got his flowers though when he came back and he did like
on Broadway?
Pee-wee on Broadway, and then he had the Netflix movie.
But
like,
imagine knowing what we know now from the
No, I know, but I think like he did get that second coming where everybody that was now old enough like showed how much they appreciated him.
Yeah. But I would like to tell him to his face.
Yeah.
That was bullshit. And also, you're the fucking man.
And we love you.
And also, when I was like 5, I wore a gray suit with a bow tie to my cousin's wedding.
Because of you.
Because of you.
Also, how you get your hair to grow so fast.
And, by the way, I found something remarkable in this doc. It seemed like every time you were off the air, you grew a full beard and long hair to your shoulders. How did you do that?
Well, you could tell in the doc, like when you look at all the pictures, he loved looking completely different in photos.
Yes.
Like even as like when he was in his 20s, like it looked like every time there was a photo, he looked like a different person.
Yeah. And it was weird too because I saw photos of him in drag.
Yeah.
And I had been watching Fox News and I thought that they just started that like
a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
right?
2 years ago. And they were just trying to get the children. But apparently there's a culture around it. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah.
When he dresses up in the movie.
I totally forgot.
Top left photo.
I totally forgot about. Yeah, we're looking at the top left photo when he dresses up in Pee-wee's Big Adventure as an unattractive, I'd say,
so goddamn funny
woman with the green sweater on. He's trying to get that guy out of jail, right?
Yep.
Yes, he's breaking that guy out of jail, and he dresses up as like a woman in a sweater. It's been a long time since I've seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Same.
We should figure out a way to watch that as a show because that really is.
We can just take a break and put it on.
I mean, don't threaten me with a good time. I mean, it really is. Like every scene in that movie is classic, and I love to like. I always remember the big dinosaurs from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I loved on the doc when they said that the guy who built the dinosaurs was like getting emotional looking at the way they lit them and how cool they made them look.
Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, to this day, people stop there.
Yeah,
you know,
because of the movie.
Because of the movie, yeah.
I did, and it bummed me out too. I was like, I wish
Simone's there.
Yeah, Simone. I wish they had gotten Tim Burton to do Big Adventure.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would have been better, but I don't know.
I mean, because listen, like Tim Burton is a genius too. Yes. Tim Burton is a genius. There is an aesthetic to Tim Burton movies.
Yeah. Tim Burton is one of these guys who.
Don't start coming in here. Go ahead.
I mean, can you name the last good Tim Burton movie?
He has made so many
good
movies.
I know he has.
Like, I mean, Big Fish was great.
Okay, and that was what, 25 years ago?
Man, I don't know. What am I? The calendar shop? You know what I mean? Like he did Big Adventure. He did Batman. He did Batman Returns.
I know.
He did Nightmare Before Christmas.
I know.
He did Edward Scissorhands.
Trust me.
He did, he did Helena Bonham Carter. Pound me out on that. You know what I'm saying? And this one's over here like, what have you done for me lately? What a fucking asshole.
I'm just saying.
And by the way, we watch a Tim Burton doc, and you and me would be like, Troy, you and I would be like, I wish we could give Tim Burton his flowers. And Travis would be like, I mean, he fell off.
He fell off. He doesn't deserve it.
He did fall off.
You fell off.
What? I was never up.
No, Travis TV was a shit.
I'm just saying.
Pull up Tim Burton's IMDb. Pull up Tim. I mean,
Tim Burton's the kind of guy that like I've been burned by so many times that I'm like, oh fuck.
I get burtened. I use.
I mean, that original run is untouchable.
And you don't just get to hold on to that. People, and he did. I didn't even mention Beetlejuice. And he directed 4 episodes of Wednesday. Everybody loves Wednesday.
I haven't even seen them yet.
What do you mean? Oh,
they haven't
season
come out
2?
yet.
Oh, okay. I'm sure they're good. I didn't see Beetlejuice.
Neither did I, and I meant to.
People loved it. Let's see.
We should start at the bottom.
No, I want to, because you said most recent.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Find me.
I didn't see Dumbo. You got to click that arrow, Mike, that says all past film and video. There you go. We're going to Big Eyes probably.
Alice Looking? No.
Batman: Birth of the Modern Blockbuster. He was in the special thanks. Okay, we're going. And by the way, like, it's natural to slow down at a point. People love Frankenweenie.
Do they?
I don't know.
I mean, Frankenweenie was wasn't that one of his like original, like first things that he ever did, and then he finally got to make it into
I think
a movie?
that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Like the short was like way before Nightmare Before Christmas or anything like that.
Right. Alice in Wonderland is a well-directed film.
No, nobody liked that.
Oh, no?
No.
All right. I didn't even see it. Sweeney Todd was great.
Okay, and that's what, 2007?
2007, bro. Come on.
And
Like,
is it great?
It's very good. Don't keep asking because it'll keep. So, like, listen. But, like, also, he slowed down. He didn't. By the way, his version of Planet of the Apes is the best version of Planet of the Apes.
And his version of Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
The shit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen.
2003, Big Fish. Okay, so 22 years.
And he did Sweeney Todd. Like, what are you talking about? He had a 20-year run. He did Ed Wood.
But then look at this.
Fuck off.
Mars
He did Mars Attacks.
James and the Giant Peach.
No,
Batman
don't try to
Forever,
jump out. You're like, man.
Ed Wood.
You don't get to be. You're not.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Like all of these incredible movies.
He didn't fall off. He just slowed down.
He didn't slow down. He's done he's done more recently than he's ever done.
No, he hasn't, because he wasn't director on most of those that we just went through. You're trying to mold this into your own little Tim Burton spool of hate. It's terrible.
Not me.
Tim Burton rules hard.
It's like saying Brian Wilson didn't have a hit since the 60s, so he sucks.
Right, exactly. What if we did? What about Sense Good Vibrations?
Yeah, what has he done since?
What has he done since? As far as I can tell, he's just a schizophrenic weirdo. He wasn't even playing piano half the time on stage.
That's what I say.
That's his thing. That's Travis's line of thinking.
We say the same thing about Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah. You know.
Like, we really do. Like, hey, stop putting out so much shit.
No, but Tim Burton's not putting out shit. He's just not putting out as much stuff. Like, putting out bad album after bad album. No.
But Rivers Cuomo could live off of the first 3 Weezer records.
2.5.
Green Album was good.
It's okay.
What was the one after that?
It's emotionally devoid.
Maladrod or whatever?
Maladois?
That was a good one.
Yeah. Listen, he's got a good song or two on every record.
He does.
But he doesn't have to write 10 songs a day and then put out, 3 albums.
He has a problem with quality control.
He really does.
Okay, so he likes quantity.
But it's like, but you still did those 3 records.
Yeah, you get credit for them. That's why I always like those. You can't. That's what I was talking about with like athletes. Like, you can't. Legacy doesn't get fucked up by more work. Legacy gets fucked up by, if you're like Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby, but like doing work later that somebody doesn't like as much doesn't take anything away from the original work.
Yeah.
And Tim Burton's run is the stuff that, like, if an aspiring director dreamed to get half of what Tim Burton did, you'd be an icon forever. Half.
And you got Teft over here just shitting all over
I'm
him.
just shitting on his recent stuff.
The idea that somebody would shit on Tim Burton
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
around me of all people.
It's insanity.
Insanity. I'm so glad and you don't even like movies like that.
Well, I mean, the movies he did are great.
But when I'm sitting there telling you Tim Burton's a genius.
Yes, he's a genius. Yes.
And when I'm sitting here telling you that Tim Burton added immensely to Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes.
Because the whole aesthetic is a Tim Burton aesthetic.
You can, when you see it, you go, oh yeah,
that's a Tim Burton aesthetic. Yeah. It's like when you see the way the neighborhoods look in Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands is like a masterpiece.
Yes.
Vincent Price shows up as the dad. Edward Scissorhands is unreal. No, you're not a part of our.
Oh, I'm not allowed.
You're
to
not
like
in
Tim.
No.
You're shitting all over him.
No, Troy Meir in the Tim Burton.
His newer stuff.
It's
you think
unnecessary.
Dumbo's great?
Yeah.
You do.
Oh, live action, right? Not animated.
Yes.
Okay, I like the live action one. Why did he do that? Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go. No, bro. Like you get a pass. Tim Burton has a lifetime pass, except for Harvey Weinstein stuff. Yeah. Nobody gets a pass for that. Unless you're the jury, apparently. But nobody else gets a pass for that. No, you don't get a... I'm saying, like...
How many incredible things do you need to do to get a pass?
It's a good question. I mean, 3.
You need to have a body of work.
3?
You need to have a body
if they're
of work.
legit incredible?
Yeah.
3, 4.
How many albums do you need to be that level where you could just keep putting out shit? And
I mean, you know what? That's a great question, because I think 3... when we're talking about movies or TV is insane. But if you were to ask me that about music, I would say,
If you put
records,
out 3 outrageously great movies.
Yeah, okay, fine.
You're made.
Okay.
3.
I agree.
3's the answer. Don't you love that you can ask me a question like that no matter what the topic is? Hit me, tell me the number, and I will always tell you.
That's why I asked.
Here's what the number is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would consider 3 movies somebody to be a genius forever. Like, because if then you released 30 things that are just complete dog shit, like maybe you weren't genius. Maybe you just had some really good ideas when you were younger.
I mean, bro. Well, Tim Burton did more than 3.
No, I know.
But you're now moved on, which is fine. I'm just wanting for clarification of the
Tim Burton's got like 8.
discussion. Yeah. I mean, look, Tim Burton's untouchable. Tim Burton's untouchable. He's a GOAT. Period.
Top tier.
Top tier GOAT. Yeah. Period.
Top tier what, director? Because he doesn't write a lot.
I'm not worried about writing. Like, Paul Thomas Anderson, goated forever. Paul Thomas Anderson was goated after Magnolia.
Well, yeah, but Paul Thomas Anderson's in a different category. He's in that Quentin Tarantino. Yes, he's a creator.
Writer-director.
Yeah.
His projects top to bottom.
And he is absolutely goated.
Not everything he's done has been perfect.
No, but that's okay. Because he's got more, like, incredible stuff than, like, oh, that was really bad.
Right. I don't think Wes Anderson's goated.
Listen, I am the wrong person to talk to Wes Anderson about.
Are you with me?
I have I abuse myself.
Yeah.
Trying to like.
Oh, that's like Pee-wee. That's what Pee-wee did watching movies too.
Trying to like Wes Anderson.
He said he didn't, but I think he did. But it's still cool, by the way. I'm not mad at him. So you want to like Wes Anderson?
I feel like there has to be something wrong with me because so many people that I know love his movies.
Jermaine?
Think he's brilliant. Jermaine,
Okay, I knew
my
it.
wife, everybody that I'm romantically involved with. Like,
well, guess what? If you like Wes Anderson, but you don't get, I think you should leave. I'm on the right side of history.
So
on that.
am I.
Yeah,
So
no,
am I.
don't worry about it. You're good.
But I mean, I've watched every single one.
I mean, just watch one. It's the same movie
Every
single
time it comes out.
It's the
And
same
I'm
movie.
Like, I don't get it. What's wrong with me?
It's just, he just makes that one movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same movie every time.
Tortured Father or you know.
I'm gonna guess there's some dry humor in this.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
And some really nice looking sets.
Really nice sets. I would say probably a muted color tone.
Yeah, muted color tone.
Yep.
Like I thought,
like the minute the trailer came out for that Benicio movie that's coming out,
the new one, and I want to like it.
And I don't. I love Benicio del Toro, but like the minute the trailer came on, I said, I wonder who directed this. I wonder whose movie this is.
The only movie of his that I immediately liked the first time I saw it, and I thought it was really good,
Tenenbaums?
The Grand Budapest Hotel, and that also happens to be his most commercially successful movie.
Interesting. Yeah, look,
and I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is really good.
I haven't done the work required. You know what I mean? I don't have an intelligent opinion on most of the movies. I don't see them. Because, like, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get it.
Like, I should like the Royal Tenenbaums. Why don't I like it? Like, it's a great cast. Everybody loves it. Like, what am I missing? Moonrise Kingdom. Everybody loves Moonrise Kingdom.
Stop it.
They do.
I'm not watching that.
I just keep trying, and I just keep thinking, like, man, what's wrong with me?
Yeah. Nothing.
I guess not. And I appreciate that you're on my side with this.
I am. Not the Tim Burton stuff. But yeah, this.
He's got bad movies.
Why would you even bring it up? You're negative. Because you're negative. Because you're a piece of shit.
Because you're a piece of shit.
Because you're a piece of shit. No, fuck you. Corey and Rockland, what's up, bud?
Hey, guys. So a few years ago, Sam, if you remember when the Royal Rumble was in San Antonio,
of course
Texas,
I do.
Yep. So I stopped.
Yeah, duh.
I stopped by the Alamo and I take the tour. And guess what I asked during the tour?
I can take a while.
Where's the basement?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, bro, do you have any idea because of that movie? Every single day, I would guess it happens every day. Those tour guides get the question, "Where's the basement?" Because you know what? Because I remember I went to 90s on 9 Rich Davis's wedding in San Antonio. Wow. And I remember we went to the Alamo, and it was either somebody there when we went to the Alamo said, "Hey, where's the basement?" They all do the joke.
There's no basement in the Alamo.
I purposely joined the tour and waited, like 15 minutes into it to ask. I just didn't walk up and ask. I joined the whole tour.
That's great.
And I wanted to do the whole Buenos Dias. That whole tour, they would go.
Or as they called it, Maze. Thank you, Corey.
Take it easy, guys.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure was definitely one of the VHS rewatch over and over again movies. Just like to the point where
quote it.
Like the ones, I think there were there was one scene, maybe it was the clown dream sequence. It was something where there was like a glitch in my tape. And so I don't know that scene like I know every other scene.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Go back to Pee Wee. It wasn't mentioned in the doc, but Rob Zombie worked.
Yes. So, I mean, there were a couple of things not mentioned in the doc. Rob Zombie was his first job in entertainment was he was a PA on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
That's so awesome.
And that's so great, and it makes sense. And this didn't come out until, I don't know, 2012 or something. I think this didn't become public information until Cyndi Lauper wrote her book. But Cyndi Lauper is uncredited as the person who sings the Pee Wee's Playhouse song.
Yeah.
There have been rumors and stuff like that, but basically Pee Wee knew Cyndi Lauper, and if you pull up Pee Wee's Playhouse theme song, you can totally hear it.
Absolutely.
But maybe if you didn't know, you didn't know. They said they wanted something that sounded like a Betty Boop voice, and they really wanted Cyndi to do it, and Cindy's label didn't want her to do it. They said, no, you can't. And so Cyndi told Pee Wee, fine, I'll do it. Just don't credit me. And so that's how we got it.
It's like Eddie Van Halen and Michael Jackson.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
Cindy's like, nah, you can have this one.
Yeah, just don't credit me. And she just did it to do it, and I love that. By the way, in the modern day television, there's no way they would let somebody have a 45-second intro to the intro. Like, this is like, people would be so scared of clicking while this is happening.
They're not going to be interested.
No, we need the claymation dream sequence. They're going to change the channel. I mean, this is still the intro to the intro, which I remember. I mean, as soon as this came on, I was like goosebumps, like, oh my God. I forgot how much I loved, like, I forgot that this was my life, my entire life. It slaps too.
You hear the New York accent.
Yeah, you can hear it, right?
It's so obviously her.
I know, when you know. Which I just love too, because her label would be like, "Did you do that?" And she's like, "No,
not me.
No,
that sounds just like you."
I don't know.
Yeah, it does. We should find out who that is.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got like some of us have distinct voices. I feel like it's difficult for some of us to get away with doing stuff like that. But I would love to do something like that. Sam, can you do a voiceover for this? I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, hey, my boss, whoever here, WWE, did you do this? No.
Must have been somebody else.
Check the credits. Am I in there? I mean, you're not in the credits. Okay, well.
Okay.
There's your answer. I guess, you know what? Your guess is as good as mine. It'll be a mystery.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'd love to find out who it was, but that wasn't me.
Anyway, might as well stop here. Let's let's chill. So yeah, check out the doc. It's on Max. It's really, really great. I'm curious about this. Michael in Florida. What's up, Michael?
Hey, good morning. Very funny. Two things. One, when Pee Wee came out in '85, I was in college, and I went to the movie High. Big mistake. The part with Marge scared the shit out of me.
Where she turns into a monster?
My God.
Yeah. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is a great marketing plan was when Hugh Grant went on to Jay Leno after he was caught in a car with hookers. Remember that?
Yup, that's a good call. Thank you, Mike. That was
yeah.
That was a classic. And you know what? It was a great example of like back then when it was much more difficult to get control of a story because the internet wasn't around. So it was just like articles were getting published left and right. And you didn't. But Hugh Grant got caught. This was at the height of Hugh Grant is the most charming British man you've ever met. And, you know, whatever. He goes to Hollywood, sees Divine Brown on the corner, picks her up. You know what I mean? And I get it. You're Hugh Grant. You don't want to deal with... What, you can't... everybody's paying attention to everything you're doing. You can't get on Tinder. You can't be sliding into DMs.
Probably just want to play a game of Monopoly.
You want to go play... Yeah, exactly. Just find out if she's a spiritual person. What religion she thinks might be the right one.
He's so good in that.
Unbelievable. So I'm ready for the next arc. First of all, Hugh Grant is like low-key GOAT.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The amount of love that I have for Hugh Grant is like, I think people don't even realize. Like, he's one of the...
I wish you were Divine Brown.
That'd be awesome. No, he's like one of my favorite actors. I love Hugh Grant.
He should do more horror.
He could do anything he wants. I mean, he could still... he's the best. Because he's so charming in everything.
Settle down.
He's so charming in everything. Everything.
Yeah. I would have gone right in that house. Where's the blueberry pie?
Yeah.
It smells delicious.
Hey, I know you got this candle. You still got that pie, right?
Yeah. Because I believe everything you say.
Hugh Grant's like my Eric Nies to you.
I think he is.
Oh,
I think he is. I remember, I think it was the movie About a Boy when I watched it and I was like, wait a minute. Not only am I obsessed with this movie, it's literally, I told you.
That's one of your perfect movies.
It's in my 10 out of 10 movies on Letterboxd. It's one of my, it's perfect. It's literally perfect start to finish. Love that movie. But that is when I realized too, it's like, also I love that dude right there. I love Hugh Grant.
He's charming.
And I think he handled this great too. He goes on the Jay Leno show and just does an interview where Jay Leno can actually ask him about it. And it took not only did it take all the steam out of the story, it was the first night that Jay Leno, I believe, it was the first night that Jay Leno beat Letterman in the ratings.
That's what turned it.
And he never looked back after that. Yep. He beat Letterman every single night after that for years. It's an amazing thing. All right, fine. We'll take a break.
Let me start with questions.
No, I don't need to hear that whole thing.
He said we'll take.
Trust me when I tell you, it was great. So anyway, yes, we will. We'll take a break. We have a lot to do today. We will be playing the Town Hall with Bryce Dallas Howard and Orlando Bloom, which was fabulous later on this morning. Still a lot to chat about here on the show. Stay right there. We'll be back.
We'll be right back with Sam Roberts Show. With Sam Roberts Show.
And then I don't know if I care.
What is the second one? Life is Peachy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that had Adidas.
I mean, the second album is amazing.
Yeah.
First album is outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, the third album, there's good songs on it, but it also starts to get into like, hey, let's get on MTV.
Yeah.
You know? Which, you got to get on MTV. It's fun.
I wasn't mad.
Nah.
Follow the Leader. Oh, yeah, that was massive. Yeah. Got the Life, Freak on a Leash, All in the Family. Those are big.
He's trying to get into TRL territory.
But that was the third album.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Still good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they're not blind.
No.
I mean, what's blind?
Blind?
That's a good point. It's unfair for me to say that, isn't it?
It's just untouchable.
Shoots and Ladders.
Oh my God. They were the coolest band.
They were the coolest.
Corn rules.
And it was so strange. They were like wearing like Adidas tracksuits. And just have this like brutal, heavy music.
Yeah.
Fieldy was like playing like funk.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is happening?
He's not with them anymore, right?
No,
he left a long time
He said
ago.
he might come back.
He should come back.
Head came back.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Head, move. I like too that they were like, they're like, yeah, all day I dream about sex. And then you'd be like, your friends would be like, yeah, I mean, because some people think that's what Adidas really stands for, but really Adidas is all day I dream about soccer. And none of it's true.
No.
What?
It's two brothers named
Blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Adidas.
Adi and Das.
Adi and Das.
My dad used to walk around the house going, oh, where'd you get that? Is that Adidas? And I'd be like, shut up. That's not how you say that.
I thought you were going to say your dad walks around the house all day going, all day I dream about sex and all day I dream about sex.
You love corn. Yeah, I know. He would pronounce it Adidas all the time. And I go like, that's not a thing. He was right, though, as it turns out. Pacers are up 2-1.
Yeah, they won again.
Against OKC. Has Stephen A. Smith come forward with his
I haven't heard anything
anti-Tyrese agenda?
Not yet, no. I haven't heard anything.
Overrated, not a superstar. It's really interesting, huh?
They could win this series. They really, really could.
I know, and that's wild.
Yeah.
What a wild thing. Great for Indiana.
Sure, but we don't root for the team.
But he loves wrestling so much, and he's really a great guy.
Yeah, you could be friends with him after, this is over.
I wanted to be friends with him after the Knicks series. I don't want to have to wait longer.
Well, he's busy right now. You're talking about Tyrese Halliburton.
Of course, Holly, baby.
Okay.
The Miracle Man. If you're a fan. If if that's your thing. Besides, I mean, what am I going to sit here and cheer for the Knicks? They've fired a coach, no plan.
I mean, maybe they'll ask you. I run out of coaches to ask.
You know what? I hope they heard the show. I feel like I did. I have made, I believe, better basketball. I've had better basketball takes than people would have assumed that I would have this season. People think I'm not much of a sportster, but my intuition is great. I am one of the great intuitive humans, and I feel like I could thrive in just about. I can't think of a position I wouldn't thrive in. Generally, you know what I mean. I feel like
it's hard to think of one.
Thank you. And at this point, so the Knicks are on a quest for a new coach because they fired Tibbs, who was the head coach up until right now. The head coach that brought them to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. That's who he was. And they said, yeah, but they didn't get to the finals. So you're fired. He said, well, he plays players too long. He said he gets too many minutes on these players, so we're going to fire you. Everybody was like, that's kind of wild. Hot Dog was like, I knew it. Everybody else was like, that's kind of wild. And now it appears that we are in a position where they do not have necessarily somebody in mind, but we were talking about yesterday that Jason Kidd's name came up. And the idea, Jason Kidd is, of course, former NBA superstar, now the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. And the idea is that because these coaches are under contract, a team would have to go to another team to say, hey, we'd like to talk to the head coach. We don't want a contract tamper. And so far, the Knicks have, by my calculations, gone to the Dallas Mavericks, the Houston Rockets, the Timberwolves, Chicago Bulls. Is the Atlanta Hawks on that list?
Yes, they are.
And you go, well, why are they going to all these teams? Are they trying to schedule many, many interviews? The answer is no. They're having trouble apparently scheduling one interview because every team that they go to, they go, excuse me, may we please talk to your head coach? And the team goes, no, you may not. And they go,
not even head coach. Some of these are just,
Oh, it's not all for the head coach. Some of them are just like, look, we get you. You don't want to start your head coach, but can we talk to your, whatever, another person who works for your organization? And so far, all of the organizations I just listed, the Mavs, the Rockets, the Timberwolves, the Bulls, the Hawks, they're all going, no, you may not talk to them.
I hope there's owner collusion.
I hope there is, too. I hope there's a lot of collusion.
I hope everybody got together and was like, hey, let's fuck James Dolan.
Yeah. He's being an asshole with this one. We love Tibbs. Let's not let him talk to any of our people.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, and I was wondering, too, as I was watching, I go, listen, I mean, I follow, but I'm not a sports expert.
Do you know anyone who is?
Well, I said to myself, this feels like the Knicks blundered this one. That's what I said to myself. I feel like there's a bit of a blunder. And I said, but maybe I'm reading this wrong. So I said, there's no Inside the NBA. Is Charles Barkley? Oh, luckily, Sir Charles was part of the broadcast for the NBA Finals a couple nights ago. And he actually gave his opinion on what the Knicks were doing.
The Knicks got to be the stupidest damn people in the world. Like, you don't fire no good coach like that and don't have a plan. I mean, Tibbs did a hell of a job. Obviously, something's going on there, but you don't have a plan. And now the three coaches turn you down. You got to have a plan, man. And they don't have a plan now. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're going to do.
That's great insight. That was before the game last night, and isn't it great that, like, it's the NBA Finals. It's all about the Pacers and Oklahoma City. And still, the Knicks have made such a blunder that we interrupt this discussion about the championship series to talk about how dumb the Knicks are. Like, who does that? Who comes out? And it was like such a heroic time. Who comes out of the heroic time where the whole city is like, hell yeah, we did it? Enough time has passed now where I think generally Knicks fans are in that place where it's like, okay, at least we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals,
Yeah, you get over it.
It was a great season.
Yeah.
Like you said about the Orioles last year.
Yeah.
You say, you know what? It was a great season. I'm okay with it. And I feel like Knicks fans were there, and then the Knicks organization was like, hold my beer.
I mean, they had to be there because nobody thought they were going to beat Boston. Like,
right.
You beat Boston,
right.
Everything else is just,
And
extra.
they did. And they honestly, they had a couple of great games in the Pacers series. They
if
did
that
well.
ball doesn't bounce that way in game one, who knows what could happen.
That's right. They did well in that series. And there were some basketball experts that said, look, if the Knicks make it to the conference finals, I don't think they're going to beat Indiana.
Yeah.
You know who that was?
I'm trying to think because I follow a lot of experts.
Okay. Wasn't Shams.
No, it wasn't Shams. Well, Shams is more like, just like...
Scoops.
Yeah, scoops and stuff.
Not takes.
I don't think it was anybody on Inside the NBA.
I don't think Stephen A. got that one.
I don't think Stephen A. got that one either. I think it may have been...
Was it Kenny? No, Kenny didn't get that.
No, it was a radio guy.
Not the LPB.
You know what? I think it was.
The LPB himself?
I think it was the LPB.
Whoa.
Because it wasn't the Mad Dog.
Roberts nailed it again?
And it wasn't Mr. Bet Rivers.
Wow. You talking about Mike Francesa?
Yeah.
On the Green Screen Podcast Network?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the last professional broadcast.
Yeah, I think you're right. So yeah, now that's what I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with blunders. That's what I'm obsessed with now, is how the Knicks are going to dig themselves out of this and who is going to be... And if you're a player on the team, I mean, I don't know if they all hated Tibbs.
Some of them did.
I'm sure some of them did. I don't think Jalen did.
Jalen loved him.
Yeah. How does our Zesty King feel?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he was throwing some zest in one of those, exit meetings.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny whenever anybody does this. Like, you've got one of the best of something, and you're like, let me get rid of it, and I'll figure it out.
I mean, it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday with, like...
It's not like incredible coaches are just hanging around.
That's right. It goes back to what we were talking about yesterday on always err on the side of incompetence. Like, an organization wouldn't do this unless they had a plan. Yes, they would.
Yeah, no, it turns out they would.
They absolutely would. They do not have a plan. And all the other teams in the NBA are like, no, we think it's funny you don't have a plan. We're not going to help you at all. How about we don't help you?
We're going to make it harder.
Yeah, we're not going to help you whatsoever. You need to recruit somebody from college.
That guy, we don't even care about that guy, but you can't interview him.
Right.
Honestly, we'll probably fire him later.
Yeah. He's going to be free in about 6 months. Don't worry about it. Hey, I DM'd over a video last night because President Trump went to a big event at the Kennedy Center. I don't know if you guys heard about this.
I heard about this.
Yeah. He went to...
You were probably very excited.
I was super excited that the Kennedy Center hosted... Because Trump said he's going to bring back all the great shows. You know what I mean? Because he's a big, culture, right? Les Mis went to the Kennedy Center. And Donald Trump and Melania, or the Melania double. I'm not 100% sure which one.
Hard to tell which one, though.
Hard to tell. It's a really good double. But President Donald and Melania, First Lady Melania, went to see Les Mis at the Kennedy Center last night. They said some of the actors boycotted because Trump was going to be there, which, I mean, I think is stupid.
That's lame.
It's like, by the way, remember, the whole thing about show business was what? The show must go on. Mm-hmm. Unless he's there. Then the show must not go on. It's like, we're just going to get the understudy in.
But he's the devil.
Right, cool. Well, the understudy's like, and you know what the understudy was doing? You're right. Yeah. He is the devil.
You know what? I think I'll probably walk out, too.
That's what I was doing. If I was the understudy, I'd be like, I can't believe he's coming. Are you going to perform for him?
You're not really going to do that.
Oh, it's going to be a bad look if you perform for him. I'm right behind you.
all right, I'm leaving. Yeah, I just gotta get my coat.
I'm gonna go grab my shit. I think I left some of it.
I'll meet you out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go tell the makeup lady the same thing. We're leaving with you. You get out there. You go on, Javert.
You think Javert?
I think it was Javert. I don't know for sure. But then, so I'm like excited about this, right? Because anytime people are talking about Les Mis, I'm pumped.
You love it.
Yeah, your ears perk up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just know, if you ever hear a national news story centered around the French Revolution musical Les Mis, I'm pumped somewhere, okay? I'm excited about it. But then, I always thought it was funny when Trump was talking about his favorite book, the Bible, and they asked him which testament he liked, and he said both equal. And I thought that's a funny thing to say because, he has not read that book. Nope. Either testament. Nobody's ever said both equal. Nobody.
Aren't they extremely different?
Yeah, it's Moses and the law.
Yeah.
And then it's the new covenant.
Right. Pick which one I like best.
No, I mean, there are different religions based on the two different testaments. I mean, there's a whole... You ever read the Bible?
I have.
You got a favorite testament?
No.
Okay, that seemed easy for you. And then they asked him, hit me with your favorite verse. He's like, I could never.
That's very personal.
It's very personal. Meanwhile, everybody that I've ever known, my family grew up in the church. My parents, their families, were raised in the church. Every person I've ever talked to who is at all a church person, they can't wait to tell you about their favorite Bible verse.
Of course, everybody's got one.
That'd be like if it was like, what's your favorite song from this musical? I wouldn't be like, that's too personal. I'd hit you with it right away. I'd start singing it. But I thought it was funny when he did that thing with the Bible.
Of course.
But I didn't know how it felt. Because I'm not as well versed on Bible studies as people who, grow up in the church. I'm not that well versed on it. I'll bet my mom and dad were probably like, oh, that's even crazier. And it makes me feel a certain way because he's lying about a thing that I know about. Mm-hmm. And I never knew how it felt.
But this really hit home for you.
Last night, for the first time, I realized how the Bible people felt. I finally realized how the Bible people felt. Because when Donald Trump was on the red carpet, they asked him, do you identify more with Jean Valjean or Javert?
Now, are these two, very different people?
Travis. Hit the clip. I'll tell you about it. Boost it a little bit because there's a...
Mr. President, can you tell us... A question on the musical. Have you seen the musical before, and do you identify more with Jean Valjean or Javert?
That's a tough one, that last part of that question. That's tough, I think. You better answer that one, honey. I don't know.
What?
I've seen it. We've seen it a number of times. It's fantastic. I thought it was just about our first choice. That's what we got. And we have others coming. Other great ones are coming.
What?
There's so much to break down there.
What? I'm watching going, I've never heard anybody with the most basic knowledge who would say, I'm not sure whether I'm more Jean Valjean or Javert. That's a tough one. It couldn't be any less tough. Let me tell you something. Jean Valjean is a freed prisoner who feels like he was imprisoned to slave work unjustifiably, doesn't want to live his life as a slave, so now is on the run. And they catch him posing as a guy who runs a factory, and they try to bring him to trial for that. These are his crimes. He hasn't done anything. But he doesn't want to go back to being a slave. He just wants to live his life as a free man and feels that this tyrannical rule that's going on in France right now doesn't allow him to be a free man.
Okay, so maybe he...
Javert is the police officer who feels like he's doing the right thing because he's dedicated his life to the word of the law, but he's literally hunting Jean Valjean the whole movie. So they're saying, who do you relate more to? The person who feels unjustifiably imprisoned and therefore is technically breaking the law because it's an unjust law and he's just trying to live as a free man, or the cop who is living by the rule of law without questioning it and is therefore hunting him down. Which one do you relate more to? That's tough. I have no idea.
But I've seen it multiple times. Actually, it's our go-to.
I mean, you've seen it multiple times.
Well, do you believe that?
You couldn't have seen it. There's no way. You couldn't have seen it multiple times and not know which you relate more to. I mean, spoiler alert, Javert struggles with such a crisis of conscience that he jumps off a goddamn bridge.
So maybe that's what maybe it's just tough for him.
I mean, just because he's there doesn't mean he's awake and paying attention.
I think he's been in a theater before. Because, Les Mis is a staple of New York, and he was once Mr. New York. Yeah. So I believe he has been in a theater in which Les Mis was being performed. But either he was asleep or has the weakest comprehension of anyone who's ever been to a show.
You think a lot of it flies over his head?
I mean, it's got to. Because he goes like this, I don't speak French. I go, it's in English.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's about France. It's in English.
I mean, I saw Wicked. I couldn't tell you one thing about it. I fell asleep.
Well, yeah, you couldn't tell us anything about it because you fell asleep.
If you were on the side of Glenda or what's the Green Witch's name? Do you remember? Elsa. What's it? You know?
Elsa. That's from Frozen.
Do you know?
I believe it's Elphaba, maybe?
Elphaba.
He says, I believe.
He knows. He's a freaking ballet dancer.
I think I heard once.
I got to rag my brain on
He doesn't know about theater. He's literally a ballet dancer.
Let me pull it up.
Come on. We're not buying it, buddy.
I believe it's Elphaba. It's exactly Elphaba.
That's a hard name.
Yeah.
Would you love an off-the-record conversation with Ted Cruz about this?
Oh, because you know what? Somewhere Ted Cruz is fucking screaming. How do you not know if you're more Jean Valjean or Javert?
Also, why wasn't I invited?
And of anybody.
I love the theater.
Because you know what would have happened? If you asked Ted Cruz, do you identify more with Jean Valjean or Javert?
How much time you got?
Ted Cruz would be like, well, I'd ask you to do one thing. Look down, look down. He'd start singing immediately for you.
He'd be singing in the audience while Trump's sitting next to him sleeping.
Yeah, singing along. Yeah. Ted Cruz strikes me as the type that doesn't understand Broadway's not karaoke.
No. Well, because he wants to be on the stage.
That's right. Yes, he does, and feels he should be.
But I would love to know what he thought about this. You idiot.
You idiot. He was probably more infuriated than I was. And I did in that moment, literally in that moment, I said this is exactly how the Bible people felt. I can't believe they voted for him anyway.
You got it. You're like, oh.
Yeah, that's it. When you know because you know the thing, that if you knew the thing, you could not answer, there's no way that would be the answer. And then I watch this, I go, there's never been a person. It's literally like saying, who do you relate to more, Master Splinter or Shredder? And you'd be like, I have no idea. That's a good question. It's like,
you
what?
Better take that one.
Like, what? You don't know whether it's Shredder and either answer is acceptable, And if Trump, he's like, honestly, he's got to say Jean Valjean, because if he says Javert, then what he's saying is, I'm trying to abide by the law, even though the law is totally fucked.
Maybe that's why it's hard for him, because they're too morally difficult things for him to associate himself with.
Well, yeah, it is like, wow, it is a tale of what if morality and the letter of the law don't match.
Yeah, and lesser thans.
But see, that's what I would say I'm more like Jean Valjean, because all he was trying to do is drain the swamp. That's what I would say.
I like you ask Melania, and she just leaves him hanging.
She's like, I ain't helping
She's
this
like,
one.
I hate you. That's what she said.
Now, is it possible that he just didn't want to alienate his base by identifying with either of these French pansies?
No, because
he's intimately familiar with the play, but to do so would just completely push Middle America away from him if he admitted to wanting to be one of these French pussy boys.
No, that's a good question. Because as it turns out, they're not pansies.
Well, it's France.
Not pansies.
I think it's an applicable blanket statement for the entire country.
Well, you were a Freedom Fries guy.
I mean, I went to the war. Where were they?
That's actually a great point. If anybody is justified in saying that, it would be you.
Where were they?
That's right. I didn't see you out there. No, because he's saying I've seen it many, many times. Once he says if he said, like, I don't watch French Broadway shows, then I might even respect it. But I mean, yeah, disgusting. You understand
this
that?
Really ruffled your feathers.
I thought it was nuts.
Yeah,
I thought it was crazy. To me, I was surprised more people haven't picked up on it, because of both terms, this is the most humiliating experience he's ever had. This is the most insane. I believe this is the most insane thing he's ever said. If I was sitting around a bonfire at night, you know what I mean, on a summer night, and all talking about Trump, oh, what's the craziest thing he said? Oh, what about this one? What about that one? I'd probably be like, what about when he didn't know if he was more Jean Valjean or Javert? You kidding me?
What a jerk off.
What a total jerk off liar. He's never seen that play. And probably Melania would have said, "You're Javert," except the Russell Crowe version. Yeah. So I mean, I get it. Is what I'm saying.
You had a bad day yesterday.
Yeah.
Between Brian Wilson, Ananda Lewis,
and then
this blatant disrespect, a slap in the face.
I mean, he's never seen the show. No. Now that I've explained it to you, you see you couldn't possibly have a struggle picking between the two.
He's never seen the show. He's never read the Bible.
Hey,
we got to the bottom of it.
You and I are on the same page now. We've finally gotten there. So, and I mean, at this point, it may be more valuable to have George Santos in the White House.
He could answer that.
He could have answered that, although now I'm worried.
At least he knows what he stands for.
Well, George Santos, he's trying to make money before he goes to jail. He's going to jail next month, I believe, is when he has to report and be incarcerated.
Man, that's got to be...
I mean, can you imagine knowing I'm going to jail next month?
Like what, like 8 years?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to jail for a very long time.
And in the meantime, while you're waiting to go to jail, all you're doing is like doing podcasts where guests are coming on to troll you. You know? Like you're just sitting there going like, I have to go to jail for a long time in like a month. And then Matan just shows up on your podcast and mocks you for a while. Like, this sucks. And now he's going on Cameo. I mean, this was rough. You got to be careful. So George Santos is trying to make money before he goes to jail.
How much is he charging?
That's a good question, because he thought he was going to make $500,000 by doing his podcast. I don't think that money's coming in from the podcast.
No.
So now he's on Cameo.
I remember when he first started on Cameo, he was asking something crazy, like $500 a Cameo.
What's he down to now?
$60.
60?
Yep. He's going quantity over quality.
Oh, we should probably get something before he goes to jail.
I think so. Some kind of, maybe like a drop or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, for $60 a pop, maybe we could have him re-image the whole channel.
That would be
Can you, sick. Troy, just send him copy?
Yeah, just send copy at $60 a pop,
Like when Kiefer Sutherland got tricked into doing Fresh 102.7?
100%. 100%. And I mean the whole channel. Like, hey, you're listening to The Bonfire. You're listening to Eddie Trunk.
It's Faction Talk.
Wouldn't it be great if we had Eddie Trunk imaging made by George Santos?
Didn't tell him, just put it in?
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
What is it? Well, I don't know. We were helping. We should get stuff done for the mashup. I think they'd appreciate that.
Of course,
We've had tension. We've had tension with them.
Yeah.
Maybe a cameo, just like telling him how much he loves the mashup.
I think so.
Shouting them all out by name.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's not a bad idea.
Well,
I got $60.
And I feel like we could get him to do it, because here's the most recent cameo from George Santos.
Hi, Nambla. I just wanted to stop by to offer you my full support that I am here for you if you need anything. I want to congratulate you on your success and on your anniversary this past December. I just wanted you to know you're doing a great job and you're doing great things. And the world is a better place because of you. We all love you, and I love you, Nambla.
No, he said it again.
All the best. Bye.
Not Nambla.
I love you, Nambla.
He said that he loves them. Can you hit that again? He's so enthusiastic.
Hi, Nambla.
No.
This is a perfectly written request, because I'm sure that he thinks this is a person's name.
Yeah, I would hope so. Otherwise, he thinks he's shouting out the North American Man Boy Love Association.
And everything that this person wrote can be construed as like, this is how a person is.
And you don't want to judge a person by an exotic name.
No. But it's like, yeah, we love you. We're proud of you. You're doing great things. Like, those are all things a person can do.
But then it's also perfectly written because it's not singular.
Yeah.
Like, it's written in a way that it could be singular if you don't think about it. But if you are thinking about it, clearly this can apply to the group, too. Mm-hmm. And so,
Which group?
So NAMBLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association. It's a group to support pedophiles, I think, is what it is. Men, like boys.
I saw that on South Park.
Yeah. South Park did a whole thing, but South Park was mocking it. They weren't celebrating its anniversary. Is the anniversary of NAMBLA in December?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to know if they did like that level of research, so that there's no mistaking Yeah, it was founded in December of 1978. It was the anniversary of the actual organization.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they got him. It's the actual, it is. So you watch that and it's like, nothing about this is describing anything except the organization. The National North American Man-Boy Love Association. Which, I mean, most people hate that group. I hate that group. How do you feel about them?
I don't like NAMBLA.
Me neither.
I don't think they're good people.
I think they're really bad people.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I know I'm taking a stance here, but...
You know who loves them, I guess, according to the video?
I do.
Who?
George Santos.
That's what it sounds like. That's what he said.
I
hope his inmates don't see this cameo.
Oh, that would be tough. That would be tough. Who'd you shout out, by the way?
I think if you look at this, I think he may have gotten his teeth fixed. He has really pearly white teeth.
That's the last thing you need going into jail.
Maybe that's for jail.
Get him knocked out.
Yeah, he better make sure he's bunk mates with Mr. Snack Cakes or whoever Anthony Weiner said you got to cozy up to. Oh yeah.
Look at the end too. Go to the end. They're really pearly and white.
They're really pearly and white, and it almost feels like he hasn't quite figured out how to fit them in his mouth yet.
Right, because it takes him getting used to it.
Yeah, he's got to get used to him.
Good call, Troy.
Look at those chompers.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some chompers.
He has what I want my future teeth to look like.
I hope you do it, Sam.
I do, too.
I hope yours are whiter than that.
I'm going to try to get... whatever is the whitest shade of white, I'm getting them.
And go just maybe a size bigger than you should.
I think so.
It's like a millimeter bigger.
Just a hair bigger.
I want them to get in the room right before I do. You know?
Yeah.
Or like some kind of like, what's that, like you think the sun's coming up because you can see it coming through the window and it's just me smiling? Just the light off my teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, Cameo's becoming a dangerous place again for certain people. Like, I did a Cameo, I don't know, last night for somebody, and I, like, because... Thank you. Because I'm seeing all this...
Was it about NAMBLA?
No, I always read and reread and reread, and there have been cameos that I have rejected because
you don't just read it as you're recording.
No, and also I'm not like I don't even particularly want to be on Cameo, but I did it.
Yeah, you resisted for a long time. Yeah,
and then
that's not a bad thing.
No, a couple bucks here and there.
And Jim asked me to, and I think he got like a commission, so I was like, yeah, sure, then I'll join it. But like
pays for some Uber Eats here and there.
Sure, yeah.
You know what you do? You keep that in your fun money account.
That's right. Don't tell the lady about it.
That's in your PayPal account.
Oh yeah. Oh no, there's nothing in there, honey. Nothing in there. Can you just Venmo me directly? But yeah, no. I always look when they come in. I always look. I'm never afraid to reject, even if I don't exactly know what they're talking about. I reject it. I go like if it feels like. If there's anything about it that feels weird or I don't have a knowledge of what it is, I go, no way. But then there are other people like George Santos that will just like, look, I need the cash right now. I'm going to read whatever you write. And that's the problem, too, is that once these things go through and people realize that this guy is going to read whatever I write and it goes public, then I feel like it will motivate people to see what else they can write to make this guy read. It's just not good. Who was it? Was it like Brett Favre or somebody who did accidentally did Nazi stuff or something? Yep. Yeah. I mean, you got to be careful out here. This is the internet. Like
everybody's trying to get you.
Of course they are. Like I got to know exactly. Or you know what's great? Somebody tries to get me on something, and I'll send them a Cameo, and I'll say everything except that one sentence that I know is the goof. Everything except that one sentence that I know is like, okay, this is where you're trying to get me. And so I still get the cash for it.
Smart.
Without getting pranked. I'm trying not to get punked. You know what I mean? I don't need Ashton Kutcher jumping out of a bush going, we got you.
It's like you try to get me. No, I got you.
I got you. I got your money, that's for sure. But yes, on top of George Santos, they unfortunately recently got one from, and I don't even know if this one counts as a gotcha, because it felt like he was doing it voluntarily. Tito Santana, one of the legendary superstars of pro wrestling, was recently got a cameo, and a bunch of people sent this over to me. That's the other thing. These cameos, like once people get the video, they can do it as much as they want. Now, I've gotten a Tito Santana cameo before.
Really?
Yes. When I was doing my show on what was then the WWE Network for the last episode, without asking permission, I used the budget that they gave me for the show to buy a bunch of cameos from wrestlers to say that it was the best show on the WWE network.
That's funny.
Which, you know, I like that. I like doing stuff like that and being like slightly combative like that.
Sure.
And so yeah, and Tito was one of them. And Tito was the first one I got back. It was a layup. So, but this is what Tito had to say.
Help! This is WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana giving a shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy, you went out with the girl that you had a big time crush on. You had an amazing night until you shit on yourself. Not good news, but forget about it. It happened, but don't ever bring it up. And it never happened. I hope you're still with your crush. Arriba!
I just love so much about that. I love that he'll just read it. You shit on yourself.
I mean, you can tell that he's reading it for the first time.
Like syllable by syllable. There's even that one, just don't bring it up. And it never happened. Like just nothing.
Shit
You
on yourself.
Shit on yourself. And also that, like, we're good with one take on that. One take is fine.
You could do multiple takes on Cameo?
Yeah.
It's not just like whatever you're videoing, it instantly uploads?
No, it's not like an intern interview. No. Record, you can play it back. If you want to send it, you can. If you don't want to send it, you can redo it. By the way, you don't have to do every cameo that
so
you
many
get.
of these just like...
I don't, because people are lazy.
Yeah.
And also...
They just want to get that money.
They want to get that money. And a lot of celebrities and pseudo-celebrities are very bad at doing things on their own. Like, they don't have a brain. Like, a lot of famous people are like idiots who don't have a brain, and somebody else does something for them and then takes all their money. And then once they're not that famous anymore, that person leaves because they already got all their money. And then they go, well, what am I going to do now? I guess I'll do Cameo. And they've never taken care of themselves before. So they end up, being one-take Timmys and just reading verbatim whatever anybody sends them, because what could go wrong?
Tito's $15.
I remember it not being a strain on the show's budget.
You didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no. We were Not Sam Wrestling was equipped to handle the Tito Santana.
Even if it had to come out of pocket.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, I can do
I
that.
got it.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a strategy. When I put myself on Cameo, I was like, let me price it at a point where, like, most people will go, no, that's too expensive.
What are your cameos?
They're expensive. I don't know. You can look it up. But it's like priced to the point where it's not like crazy, but also like I don't want to do a bunch of them.
$70.
That's not bad.
Right.
So if somebody really wants it, they're going to pay for it.
Right.
And it's not offensively expensive.
That's it. I try to find that line that it's not offensively expensive, but also like it's really not worth wasting my time.
You could probably bump that up to 100.
No. 100's offensively expensive.
No, not for Sam.
I think it's around 100 to get it in 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like 3 days or 24 hours. It's more expensive.
Average video length 2 minutes. That's really good.
Put some time into it.
Yeah, I mean, once if it's like
a lot of people say that's the perfect amount of time.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people do. Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna do it, and I'm not just gonna read verbatim.
No, that's great. Yeah.
You shit on yourself.
You wouldn't get tricked by that?
No, I don't think so. I'd probably, read it.
I think Black Caviar should get on Cameo.
Put it in my words. Yeah. I think they should, and they could a cappella beat anybody.
He could get tricked a lot.
Oh, that'd be great. I would do it.
I would do it so many times.
Do you think it'd be nice if you were on Cameo and Travis and me kept buying your cameos and tricking you into saying bad things? You think that'd be a nice thing to do, Troy?
You'd get the money.
You get the money, but then we play the cameos on the air and go like, look how stupid he is.
Man, that's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
'Cause I could use the money.
Right.
But you guys are being shitheads.
The humiliation.
Right. Yeah, it almost becomes quickly like that Black Mirror episode.
Yes.
Where the guy's like pulling out his teeth for cash.
Like, Troy, take off the mask.
Yeah. Matt in Queensbury. What's up, Matt?
Hey guys, I just discovered a guy named Jimmy Clifford on TikTok who does cameos. He has people do cameos that are wacky. So he had the Island Boys do a video to help a girl get through her yeast infection. I sent it to Travis on Instagram yesterday.
Yes,
if you want
I
to
saw
check
that,
it out.
yes.
But
I'd love to see it.
It's pretty good. So check that out.
Thank you, buddy. And that's the other thing. Like, you're on Cameo, and you have to know that, like, there are people who this is how they make content. They find celebrities that will take your money to just say shit, and they get them to say dumb things and go, look at this dumb thing I got the celebrity to say for.
Especially because this guy, he's specifically targeting people who he knows need this Cameo money.
Not Tito.
He did Tito. He did the Island Boys. He did the kid from Even Stevens.
Beans?
Beans. He did Beans.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is because people say I look like a grown-up version of Beans.
Yep.
I don't think that's funny. I don't know what you guys are laughing
Beans
at.
has a full beard just like you, too. That's a
No, he
bummer for
doesn't.
you. Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. I don't look like him at all.
Yeah, a little bit.
I look like Triple H.
I mean, you both have shaved heads and really cool knives.
He gave me one.
I know, I saw.
Yeah.
That is a serious knife.
It's insane. I was on Fanatics Live last
is a
night,
knife.
and I brought the big knife. But when I walk through WWE HQ, I leave the knife in the box because I feel like they'll see me and go, I knew we shouldn't have let Sam in HQ, and now he's walking around with a knife. This is not good.
Dude, that's a serious knife.
It's so funny.
And also, the fact that, like, he literally got that for you.
Legit went out, had his assistants go find it, buy it for me, said we need to get this for Sam. It was his thing. When I knew to have it when I was there, bring
It's
it
so
in
cool.
for me, and it's literally mine. It's in my house. My kids play with it.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah. All right, let's see what the Island Boys. This is this guy says the request was my daughter Chloe is a big fan of yours. She's 19. She just got her first yeast infection. Can you give her a pep talk about how this means she's a real woman now? I mean, I probably would not. Is it like for me? I would probably. I don't think I would accept that cameo. And if I did, I would probably accept the cameo, but reference the fact that I maybe didn't believe the request.
Okay.
Right? Try to get that 70.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No? Hey, Chloe, I heard you're a big fan of the Island Boys. So, yeah, you an island girl. I heard you're dealing with your first yeast infection. You feel embarrassed. Yeah, it's a very normal thing. It happens all the time.
Oh, my
Do
God.
not be ashamed of it. Let me tell you something. I've dated girls that had yeast infections like 10, 11 times in a matter of a month. It happens.
What? No, it
yeast
doesn't.
infection's very normal. Do not be embarrassed.
month?
Just don't tell people about it. It's okay.
Don't
Just
tell
tell
people.
someone that you trust, and that's pretty much it. And get it fixed, and that's that. And it'll go away. It's not something that's permanent. It's just something very temporary, and it's part of life. You're gonna get things. Things are gonna happen. Things are gonna come your way, but you should be thankful it's just a yeast infection, love. It's nothing at all. Take that big step. Be that big girl like you are, Chloe. That beautiful island girl you are. And be amazing. Don't worry about no yeast infection, please. It goes away. You know how many girls I know that have yeast infections? I didn't laugh at them. It's nothing.
It's nothing. No, we're not laughing at the yeast infection. We're laughing at you.
He gives a lot of time.
And I love that they're still doing the Island Boys. They're still doing the song. Now, didn't they once make out with each other
Yeah, they
for
did
money?
kissing.
Yeah. They started kissing each other because somebody gave them a bunch of money for it.
I think so, yeah.
They were tongue
Or it
kissed.
was like on OnlyFans or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, they're brothers who tongue kissed each other for money, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the Island Boys?
Yeah. Yeah,
and they're saying, don't worry, it's not a big deal.
That's still an empowering message.
I guess so. And they got paid.
I know girls who get yeast infections so many times a month.
10, 11 times a month, he said.
That's a lot of times you get yeast infections.
I mean, that's...
I don't know if you can get that many in a month.
It's 2 to 3 times a week.
But they have to, like, recover.
Yeah. To get 10 or 11 a month. To get up to 11, say 11, 12. It's
probably just the same one.
3 yeast infections per week, every week.
That's a lot.
Start their own craft beer.
With that much yeast, you mean? Yeah, that's right. Can you imagine, like, curing a yeast infection? But it's the 3rd time this week. I can't believe I got another one. Not it's back. Like, I can't believe there's another yeast infection. Like,
That's a different one.
Like, this is the 6th time this month, and it's only the 15th.
Maybe he's thinking of UTIs.
He might be thinking of UTI.
Oh, yeah.
He might be thinking of UTI. Even then, 10 or 11 UTIs a month is
That's a lot.
Any sort of 10 or 11 of anything in the vaginal region a month.
I think anything anywhere.
That's true. Even a penile thing 10 or 11 times.
Eat pizza 10 or 11 times in a month.
That ends up being a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you go, you know what? I probably eat pizza 10 or 11 times a month. You'll realize like even if you eat a lot of pizza, it's probably more like 6.
Yeah.
6 times a month.
I mean, and that's a lot. I
Yeah,
think.
that means you're a pizza fiend.
That's
if you
more than once a week.
Right. If you eat pizza 6 times a month, you're like a Ninja Turtle.
You probably eat chicken fingers 6 times a month. wouldn't you say?
Easily.
10 or 11 times, though?
Even, no. I mean, I don't know if I have 10 or 11 meals a month.
Yeah, like...
No, I probably don't eat chicken fingers 10 or 11 times a month.
And if you do, it's different.
3 times a week, every week?
That's a lot.
I can't say that, you know. There have probably been weeks where I'm like, whoa, I ate chicken fingers 3 times this week. Not every week.
Right.
You know.
Those are called holidays.
Holiday weeks. Christmas. New Year's.
You treat yourself.
Right. Right.
Like watching wrestling 10 or 11 times a month.
I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, if he wasn't getting paid to do it, it'd be like, all right, this guy's got a problem.
Yeah, I mean, even the amount of wrestling that I watch, I'm sure I get to 10 or 11, but it's like...
But it's hard.
Yeah, I'd have to be pretty much watching... I'd be watching a lot. Like, I was going to say... Like, I thought the number would be much higher, but realistically, doing anything...
If you're thinking about it.
10 or 11 times a month is like... It's almost got to be the only thing that you do. You know?
Yeah. Now,
I mean,
imagine that's a yeast infection.
It's terrible.
If we do...
I mean, you don't even do 10 or 11 shows a month.
So the audience would tell you.
Yep.
I've taken 1 week off this whole year.
Whole year.
1 full week off the whole year.
And there's not going to be many more coming up.
No, I got a lot to do.
People are pissed.
Well,
I mean, that's kind of nice.
Well, then people are going to be real happy this year.
Okay. Yeah. Trust me. If you're paying for SiriusXM for me, trust me. I'm going to make sure you get your money's worth, okay? Trust me.
I'll listen on my flight to Florida.
Everybody else, yeah. You know what's going to be a problem? When, like, at the end of the... Problem for me, not for you guys. When at the end of the year, and you know it's going to happen, knowing me. My intention is for...
I know.
You know what's going to
happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's exactly what's going to happen.
What?
You're going to forfeit vacation days.
And all of you guys are going to end up having taken more vacation than me. And that, not to say that you guys take a lot of vacation, not to say you guys take an unreasonable amount of vacation. But I'm going to get to the end of the year and go, how the fuck did that happen?
You don't like vacation.
I mean, I enjoy working.
But your family enjoys vacation.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Take the kids to the beach.
My wife's taking it. She'll take the kids to the beach.
You're the dad.
Yeah.
But also, you know me too. I'll be like, guess what? I'm coming for the day. You know what I mean? The day. Because I'm an island boy. Taking no vacation. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with Sam Roberts Show.
Everybody ready?
Man.
Disarm?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's what it's about.
What?
I don't know if it's about disarming people for an interview.
I think it is.
Okay.
I mean, what's a boy supposed to do?
You know what? You should ask Billy.
Yeah, I do. I did. They were like, man, this is a killer interview. I was like, yeah, killer in me is a killer in you.
Okay. now you're just making up, you know.
That happened. You can listen for yourself.
Okay. Yep.
You listen for yourself, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. We're going to put the town hall on. You want to call in, 866-969-1969. 866-969-1969 is a phone number. A lot of... by the way, we were talking about sports before, and I meant to bring this up. You know, the Pope. I like that. I thought it would take a little bit longer for the Pope to get comfortable and go like, no, we're going to do things my Pope way. But he's like, listen, they're not putting that conclave back together anytime soon. I think my gig is safe as the Pope. I'm going to tell everybody exactly which Chicago team I'm rooting for. It is the damnedest thing. I love that we have an American Pope. I hope Topps does another card.
You just want to buy a whole series.
The time the Pope wore a Chicago White Sox baseball hat with his Pope stuff. Look at that. The Pope just showing up in his White Sox hat. Supporting his team. And by the way, the White Sox, they suck. So
they're not good.
No. So the idea that the Pope is still like, look, we're still on their side.
Hey, once a fan, always a fan.
That's right.
Yeah. He put on a Villanova hat the other week, too.
It really is interesting. It really does humanize the... Well, you all right over there, Troy? I see your belly and everything.
What's going on, buddy?
You got itchy pits?
No, I'm tightening my my back brace.
Your brassiere?
Yeah.
What was wrong with it? You feel like the posture wasn't where it needed to be?
No, I just think over time it just kind of like loosens up, and I was like, well, I could go a little tighter.
You go a little
The titties
tighter.
are pushing it?
Yeah.
Titties are pushing it.
You've been standing a lot today.
Yeah.
What's wrong, big cat?
No, I think this is my new thing.
Oh, you've been thinking about it.
Oh, that's right. You have been wanting to stand.
Yeah, because I think when I move like this,
Yeah.
when I like just doing my thing,
You're swaying a little bit.
swaying a little bit. I think I'm getting an extra steps.
I don't think that counts.
So I'm trying to check my step counter.
How's it going?
I think it's going great.
By the way, you know what's great about
Am I not moving?
I guess you're in place. What are the steps calculated on?
I don't know, your heart rate, your movement.
But you're using the step counter on the phone.
Yeah, but I have my ring.
Oh, okay.
I have an Oura ring.
Okay, I saw the ring.
I mean, I'm not that fucking stupid.
I don't know about that. I was really, because his phone was on the table, not in his pocket. I was honestly, because the Pope was on the TV, so I was actually praying to God in my head. Yes, that Troy thought that he would get his steps in, and his phone would count the steps while it was on the table.
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. The ring's on. Okay. All right. Okay.
My Oura ring.
I forgot about your Oura cock ring. That's on.
No, it's not a cock ring. It's a finger ring.
Oh, it's that ring.
Yeah, I don't have a.
I
I'm
thought
not wearing a cock ring.
Oh, okay. All right. Now
My
we got
daughter
all
wants
the
to get one of
answers.
those rings, and I told her I know a big idiot who uses one at work.
Why, I told you that's not to call him that.
You did yesterday.
Did I call you that or him?
Me.
You.
But I don't.
But I called you that.
No, him.
I have a problem when he calls me an idiot.
Because you know he means it.
Because he thinks I mean it.
It's condescending when you say it. For me, I'm like...
call everyone an idiot.
I'm being
I
goofy and silly.
Yeah, no. I just don't like hearing it from him.
I get that.
I didn't say that to her. She said, "Doesn't Troy use one?" I said, "Yeah, he does."
That's yeah, and it's almost like a nightmare.
Maybe it was my wife. I don't remember who. Somebody in my house wants one of those stupid things.
The Oura rings.
Yeah,
I just got one for Clarice for her birthday.
I don't believe
That's the birthday present.
That's the birthday
That's
present.
a terrible birthday one. That's what she wanted for her birthday.
But why didn't you give it to her in general? Like that's a functional. You're not. That's like a vacuum cleaner. That's like you get a lady a vacuum cleaner and she's like,
Get the cleaning.
Yeah. No, an Oura ring is like a functional thing. It's not like.
But I got her the nice one. I got her the gold one.
I mean, she probably got a wedding ring.
She has a wedding ring.
No, she has an engagement ring.
It counts for a wedding ring.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Did you get her flowers?
For what?
Oh, damn, those aren't cheap.
Her birthday.
Well, her birthday's next month. It was an early birthday present. It just came yesterday.
Oh, so you got to hook her up with something on her birthday too?
I mean,
did you give it to her? Or you're just holding up.
Of course, I gave it to her.
Why? Wait for her birthday.
It's
Well,
here now.
we're going to Chicago this weekend, so I wanted her to have it.
Do you know what the Midwest is?
Young and Restless?
That's right. What are you doing in Chicago? Just checking it out?
No.
This is a big thing.
Nice.
Clarice my fiance was nominated for a James Beard Award for her book Breaking Bow.
Oh,
no, that's huge.
James Beard is like the Grammys of culinary.
It's that big.
Yeah.
It's the biggest. And so she's basically, they're saying it's one of the best cookbooks of the whole year.
Out of all the cookbooks that came out last year,
And even the goofy celebrity ones.
all the goofy celebrity ones, there were 3 that were nominated, and she was one of them.
Whoa, 3?
Yeah.
3. And she's the only American nominated.
Wow, that's massive, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, just having a nomination for her is huge.
Massive.
There it is, Breaking Bow. 88
Wow.
Let's bring it home for America.
That's
Right?
That's right. We got an American Pope. I would
In
like
the
to
Pope
have,
City?
Yes, I would like to have an American win the James Beard Award.
So
That's so awesome.
yeah. So I'm going to be in. So she's going to
So
be
you're
doing.
like, hey, congratulations. Here's an Oura ring.
Well, she's going to be. There's a whole thing of events and
Right.
it's a whole thing. So I wanted.
If she wins, are you going to get her something nice?
You should.
Or are you kind of making the Oura ring count for that too?
kind of hoping the Oura ring sort of counts for that.
That's no, it just feels like it's like exercise equipment.
No. I mean, it monitors your sleeping habits and.
Oh, so it does more than that.
Yeah.
it's just not as romantic. It's not the most like
Well, she wants that.
she likes
wanted
that.
it.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's better to get what am I going to get her another handbag?
She probably loved that. Yeah, I've never.
Troy, I got a
met-
spoiler alert for
Yeah.
you. They never get sick of those.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what? I think I just gave my wife a very nice, actually, handbag. And you know what she didn't say?
What?
I already have one.
I have this already.
She didn't say that.
Because I just need one bag.
Yeah, no, I know you do.
That's it. I don't need another one.
But I got her a designer handbag, and she didn't go like this. Wow.
I got a closet full of them. What did you give me this for?
I already have my stuff in a bag. What am I going to do with this? You know, you'd be surprised. So, yeah, the interesting question is, yes, you could get her another handbag.
Yeah.
If it's
She's
nice.
going to be doing a lot of walking.
Are you guys leaving today?
We leave tomorrow morning. Which, I don't know if you just saw, a fucking plane just crashed.
What?
Not in America.
In India.
In India. I saw in India.
Whatever.
Everybody's dead.
Okay, it didn't happen here.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, as soon as I'm getting on a plane.
You don't like that. I got on a plane I went to...
This is the best time to get on a plane. It just happened.
No, that's what they say. It's bad juju. I hated it. I got on a plane in Toronto right after that plane went upside down and crashed.
Oh, yeah.
And I was panicking the whole time.
Were you sweating?
I was sweating. I thought the plane was going to be upside down. I said, and there's nothing I can fucking do on this plane.
You flying out of Newark?
No,
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing with Toots?
Toots is going to his auntie in
Connecticut?
in Brooklyn. Auntie Effie.
Okay. Auntie Effie.
Yeah, this Air India plane crashed. Oh, they say I know this morning they were still trying to figure it out, but all 242 people, they said, it looks like died.
It looks that way.
It didn't even go up?
Yeah, I mean, it was in the air for and it was going to England, right? It was flying to England?
London, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow. Yeah, they said there was Indian people on there, British people on there, Canadian people were on there. Man.
Not good. I'm not happy about this.
Well, I mean, you're being a little selfish.
Well, I'd feel bad for the people dead, of course.
Yeah, but you're not happy.
I'm not happy getting on a plane.
You're getting on a plane.
Don't you think he's being a little selfish?
A little bit, but I get it. I would be too. I'd be like...
Are those pilots, are they communicating with each other?
That's what I want to know.
Somebody get the black box recording because I want to see how much time there is of silence.
Nathan's ears perked up when he heard about this.
Oh, yes. What happened? Let's figure this out.
Every time there's a plane crash, he's like, I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
I said.
He was on it.
Someone listen to me.
All right. You didn't want to listen to me. You said asked and answered. That's what you said.
Is there going to be a lot of good food?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she has every meal planned. And then
because all the chefs, is it because Chicago's a great food city or because all the chefs are in town?
Chicago is a great food city, but there's a lot of people in town. There's a lot of networking, so you go out to events with people.
And these chefs, when they network, they love to have something to munch on.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Hopefully, there's a lot of cool celebrity chefs. I'm excited to.
Who's a celebrity chef you'd love to meet?
Andrew Zimmerman.
You like Andrew?
I
Zimmerman?
do like Andrew Zimmerman.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
I don't think I know that one.
You don't know? Yeah, you would. You'd recognize him if you saw him.
Yeah, you recognize. He's a big name these days, and he's like a real chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's awesome. He'll definitely be there. I saw on his Instagram.
And how come you like Andrew Zimmerman?
Because he started following me on Instagram.
Okay, that's a good reason. That's a good reason to like him. You know, that's a great reason to like him. Honestly. Hey, you're my guy now.
Chef AZ on Insta.
Boom. That's his name?
Yeah.
Is it for Andrew Zimmerman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Gordon Ramsay going to be there?
I don't know. Hope maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know many other chefs.
Guy Fieri?
Guy Fieri. Is Guy going to be there?
I'd love to hang with Guy.
You love Guy.
Of course.
Yeah. I don't think he gets nominated for many James Beard Awards.
He should.
For
he's got one of the best beard in all of
chefs
cooking.
do love him. Legitimate. They think he's a nice guy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But he's the man. Yeah, there it is. Chef AZ. Shout out.
You love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you love him because?
Well, he follows me on Instagram.
That's sick.
I returned the follow.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Good. Follow back?
Follow back. Team follow back?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
For Chef AZ?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of food.
Is Wolfgang Puck going to go?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, maybe he'll be there.
I'd love to see him there. I'd love to see Salt Bay, maybe.
Oh, that would be great. I don't think there's a lot of respect for Salt Bay.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
He's got a lot of restaurants, though.
I know that I sampled some of the great cuisine of Chef Gordon, of Chef Puck, Wolfgang Puck, in the downtown Disney area.
Oh, that was a great restaurant.
Yes. I remember that was back when they had meal plans.
Yeah.
And I was able to get a 3-course Wolfgang Puck meal on my meal plan.
Yep.
It felt like a great value. I ate all 3 courses.
That was a good value.
It was a good value. And I went in August when it was very hot, so it was less expensive. It was very good.
I wonder if Emeril Lagasse is going to be there.
Bam! That's what he said,
that?
right? Bam!
Yeah.
Hey, is Emeril going to be there?
I'm not sure. I hope so.
Wouldn't it be great? Is Rachel Ray a chef?
Yeah. She cooks on her show.
I know she does.
Let her cook.
Oh, yeah, I do.
I'm a Rachel Ray fan.
Yeah, she's the shit.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she is.
You going to get some deep dish?
I'm not a fan of deep dish.
No?
No.
Too soupy?
Plus, you can get at Pizzeria Uno's anytime you want.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. We have Pizzeria Uno here.
Are Pizzeria Uno still around?
Yeah.
Oh, they shut down the one that was near me.
I'm pretty sure they're still around.
I used to take my wife there before she was my wife. I took her there on dates.
That's a good date spot.
She still married me, so.
Because it's like you're dining a different city's cuisine.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Authentic
Chicago cuisine. Yeah.
That's the best part about having a Sbarro's everywhere.
Right.
It's like New York everywhere you go.
I might check out Mr. Beef.
Nice.
He's a fan of the show.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Mr. Beef likes the show?
Yes.
Does he know?
He follows all of us.
Me too?
Tell him you're going.
I had to message him.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Beef
follows you?
A big guy?
No, like literally the restaurant that they based the bear on.
Likes us?
Mr. Beef Chicago on Instagram. There it is.
He was on the season this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Mr. Beef.
Mike, follow him back.
Follow him back. Follow back Mr. Beef. We love Mr. Beef.
Yeah.
He follows me?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
And he hit me up and he's like, hey, if you're ever in Chicago, I'm like, when the hell am I going to be in Chicago?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm going to be in Chicago. So I'm going to
dying to go to that place.
Yeah, me too. So I'm going to add that to the list.
Yeah.
Does he wear the same T-shirts that what's his name on the bear wears?
Mm-hmm.
He does?
He wears everything that Jeremy Allen White wears.
Those are big T-shirts.
Yeah.
I love those shirts.
But yeah, his restaurant is the basis of that show.
Wow.
And he and I think
attendees?
some other people that work there are like on the show because they incorporate them into the series sometimes.
They got tendies?
No, they don't have tendies, man. It's beef. It's beef sandwiches.
I know, but there are a lot of places that have like multiple stuff.
But if you went, I'm sure you could whip up
Yeah,
some
he'll
chicken fingers or
he'll
something.
throw some tendies in the fryer for you.
Why are you saying it condescending? That is where you would make tendies.
Because you go there to eat what they serve.
And hopefully they serve tendies. I mean, what?
What
am I talking gibberish?
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean,
No, you're not talking gibberish. You're just talking out your ass.
I hope those tendies come out of my ass after I eat them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I hope so too. Otherwise, you've got some real problems.
What's that? Peppers and egg. Look at that. There's no beef on that sandwich at Mr. Beef.
Yeah, all right. So then maybe they got chicken nuggets. I don't know. Troy will find out.
I'm sure if you roll through Mr. Beef in Chicago, you're like, Sam Roberts is here. I need chicken fingers. I guarantee he'd pull through.
They know me like that?
Well, he follows you. He's obvious. And he follows Trav, follows everybody from the show.
Yeah, I've spoken to him many times. Yeah.
He's a fan. So
he would love to have you there.
And he told me, he hit me up. He's like, you ever roll through, come through. So
There's a chicken breast sandwich right there.
all right. You're set.
Boneless, grilled, or fried. I'll go fried. Chicken breast.
There you go.
Done. Done.
There you go.
Other options. Oh, they got pizza too? Thin crust cheese pizza?
Troy, bring one home for Sam.
Okay.
Chicken breast sandwich?
Sure.
Love that. What do they got for apps? Mott sticks? Pizza puffs? Oh my God. I'll never leave.
You don't like mozzarella sticks, do you?
I love Mott sticks.
Really?
Love them.
What do you have for the show tape, Brendan?
And pizza puffs, as long as there's no secret toppings hidden in there, I love those.
What do you mean secret toppings?
Like they're because you can't tell when it's a puff. It's inside.
So if there's a piece of pepperoni in there, you're going to lose your mind?
That would be a secret topping. And I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm just going to pass on it. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. This is not for me. There's a secret topping.
All right.
Wow. I didn't know we were lit like that.
Yeah.
We're super lit right now.
Bro, you've been lit for a while.
Really?
You know that.
I know. I just like hearing about it. Andy in South Carolina. What's up, Andy?
Hey, how's it going, Sam?
I mean, great now. I'm down with Mr. Beefs.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of options for you in Chicago, and there's plenty of options for Troy as well, which is why I called.
What do you got, buddy?
What a segue, by the way.
Well, first off, Troy, if you don't have anything planned Saturday night, Cruelty, the hardcore band from Japan, is playing at Red Beast.
Okay. That's the ceremony Saturday night, but okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. The main one is Monday, so I wasn't sure what night yours was, but neither here nor there. Main reason I called, though, are you planning on going to the International McDonald's while you're in town?
Oh, I forgot about the Andy, I'm going to hang up on you. Thank you for reminding us. I forgot about the International McDonald's. You better make a trip there.
I mean, I made my fiance so angry going to McDonald's in Hong Kong. This would just be the icing on the cake.
It's the International
I know.
McDonald's. You have to. You have to.
You just sneak out for a little while.
How many days are you there?
I come back Sunday morning.
And you didn't leave on Friday?
But she's going to be
That's
busy.
many meals.
All right, I'm going to go. You're right. I did.
You have to go.
That's it.
You're a man, aren't you? Are you a man or a mouse?
No, I'm a man, Sam.
Okay, prove it.
What?
See you at McDonald's.
Okay. Watch my Insta. You'll see it.
I will. I will to find out. And if I don't see it, I'll find out you're a mouse. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's our town hall with Bryce Dallas Howard and Orlando Bloom. It is a thrilling interview. Sit right there, and then the town hall will be on.
And Troy have a great time in
I'd have a great time in
Thanks,
Chicago.
fellas.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
The McDonald's is a necessity.
Better go there. All right.
All right.
We will be right back with Sam Roberts Show. It's the Sirius XM Town Hall with the cast of Deep Cover, featuring Orlando Bloom and Bryce Dallas Howard. Here's your host, Sam Roberts.
Welcome, everybody, to a Sam Roberts Show, Sirius XM Town Hall, with the stars of the new movie on Amazon Prime, Deep Cover, Orlando Bloom and Bryce Dallas Howard. Give them a round of applause. Come on. You don't have to wait for me.
Thank you.
Guys, welcome and congratulations on the movie.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you
sure.
so much.
I mean, it feels like an appropriate time to ask. You know, one of the themes, the movie is hilarious. It's an action comedy where you guys are improv performers who end up as undercover agents doing high-level drug crimes.
Yeah, well, initially we get hired to do low-level sting operations, and then we kind of find ourselves after a series of kind of comical events.
Well,
Well, you're really good.
with improv, the central tenet is yes and. And so, you know, it starts off, they're just doing these kind of low-level sting operations, like getting fake cigarettes and stuff like that. But because they say yes and, they keep getting kind of drawn deeper and deeper and deeper into this very dangerous situation. Incredible peril.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. And it is amazing because you're not exactly, I mean, your characters are not exactly successful improv performers,
No,
but for
not.
some reason, under that amount of pressure, you're able to just go.
Yeah, exactly. I think part of the gag for is that we're not very good at what we do. For my character Marlon, who becomes this character in Deep Cover, he creates this alter ego Roach. He just takes himself way too seriously. Nothing I've ever done before. But it's his shot at life in his mind at his career, because he's never had one. He's like, wait, we're going to work with the police and we can go deep cover. I can create a whole world in my brain to kind of go really deep. And so, like, literally creates an alter ego and then takes it all way too seriously. And she's like, wait, what? No, this is not real. This is so, you know, the setup, the premise is really ripe for the picking, if you like.
Well, yeah, because it's my character is an improv teacher, basically failed actor, improv teacher, aspiring.
We're all aspiring.
That is my belief around that. But Kat, the character, felt like she had failed, and she's a teacher in the UK. She's American, kind of the only American in the movie, and she's pretty strong at it. You know, she's a teacher, and she gets recruited by Sean Bean to go and, you know, do these kind of like these undercover operations. And she needs to recruit 2 other people. And there are some really great candidates, but they get agents.
Neither me or Nick Mohammed, but unfortunately she's left with us.
Yeah. And so Orlando plays this method actor. And so anyone who knows about method acting, it's like the total opposite of improv. You're really creating a world for yourself, and it's kind of like the way Orlando depicts this character is it is dazzling. It is a dazzling performance. Honestly, you can back me up because you've seen this.
No, it really is, and it was actually something that immediately I wanted to talk to you about, because it's like it almost seems like you take pleasure in, like, really, because what you're doing is making fun of actors of which you are one.
By the way, I play an elf and a knight. In the movie,
For real.
in the movie, like I dress up as an elf in Leicester Square, like a Christmas elf. Yeah, just to poke fun at that, and then a pizza night, as if an elf wasn't enough. I drew the line at Canterbury, but Bryce is too kind, because we had the best time on set, because we get to collaborate with these amazing writers. Bryce came in and just like we had, I think her first day on set was the biggest scene she had in the movie.
It was the intervention scene.
Intervention scene, which is just like, I can't explain as an actor how hard it is when you have to have a huge amount of dialogue, when there are multiple other players in the scene, and then you have to kind of direct the scene within the scene, but she's also a director as well, so she could do it. But we were like, so it's the intervention scene, and I'm like tiptoeing around this house trying to find keys without distracting, and it's the setup is very comic and great, but she just like she's the glue that holds this whole thing together and drives us forward. She's the engine pulling the story, and me and Nick just get to like Nick Mohammed, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen Ted Lasso, but like he's not here with us right now.
Comedian,
funny bones,
an actor, funny bones,
bones through and through. Just like every time we're on set with him, we're just breaking because he had like the funniest things to do, and you just look at his face and you want to laugh when he moves, right? When he says anything.
Yeah, and the script was written by improv comedians. It's a duo called The Pin, and Ben Ashton and Alexander Owen, and it was like so like they improvised their way into an awesome script. Like it was a really, really, really tight script. And so we would have fun on set kind of improvising our way into a scene or try something here or there. But ultimately a lot of it got cut because it couldn't really beat the script. Except for Nick. Nick did some stuff that was really funny. Really funny. He's unbelievable.
When you're playing Marlon, right? Yeah. And you're looking at this script and you're going, are you going, oh, this will be fun, I'll be able to make fun of things I've seen done? Or are you going, oh, no, I've 100% done this. This is what I've done.
Yeah, all of that. All of the above.
I mean, the scene where we kind of meet you and you're going into that audition.
Yeah.
Like you just, I mean, you just
Oh my God.
cringe because the idea
so
of
bad.
let me take it in a direction.
Yeah.
Seeing somebody sit across the table from you, going, nah, just,
and then he goes in and tells you what the line really is. It's really, It's just, you know the thing about the,
It's not hard.
Oh God, yeah.
Have you been have you been in situations like that though? Have you been in situations where you're like, you know what? Either of you, where you're like on a set going like, I'm gonna improv a little here.
Auditions
like, okay.
auditions particularly are tense, right?
Yeah.
They're just set up to be tense. You just, and then you kind of like at the beginning of your career, you definitely have been in those situations, and then you think, what can I do to shine or make a
you're so
moment?
desperate.
Yeah,
that's the word.
There's a real imbalance of power when you're auditioning, and hilarity ensues often. That's what was so fun about this, is because it's it is a proper kind of action. It's propulsive, it's thrilling, there's danger, it's rated R, but it is really, 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 really funny. And because it is about actors, I mean, Nick doesn't play an actor. Nick plays a guy who can't really fit in socially at work, and so he decides to sign up for an improv class so that he can maybe be a little bit, have a little bit more wit and make friends and confidence. Yeah, have confidence. And so it's great because we're not just dealing with the trope of like, oh, actors who are full of themselves or actors who are going in too deep or whatever that is. We all have different mindsets. And so there is a way to kind of relate to it if you aren't an actor. But as an actor, this is like, oh, it's so juicy. It's
really
because
right
we
for
do
it.
all the things that he does in this movie.
Yeah, we do all the things. The cool thing is that we've got this camaraderie as well. And I think, for audiences watching, it's a little bit like we're all looking for something in life, right? And in a way, like I'm looking for my validation. We're looking for validation, and he's looking for confidence and a sense of purpose in life in a way. And we sort of find it through this like motley crew of like experiencing and improv is like life. It's like yes and. If you yes and life as opposed to like, no, I'm not doing this, you find yourself in all kinds of other spaces, which is sort of fun as well.
Yeah,
whilst laughing very hard at all of us making a fool of us. It is funny that it's an R though, because I guess there's so much R stuff in it, but actually it doesn't feel like an R, right?
Yeah, because it's not heavy.
It's not like
it's very light.
It's a light R.
Yeah.
It's a little R.
Yeah. It's R in that there's some danger. There's some, dismemberment, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Slight dismemberment.
It's really funny.
It is.
And it's not like ew. It's just like
Yeah, nothing's
it's like, wait,
disturbing.
what?
That's a key distinction.
Yeah.
And it's two different, two different things whatsoever. What do you, when you have a script like this, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this movie, are you guys thinking more about, I got to get my comedic elements up to snuff, or like, I have to get ready to do all these insane action sequences?
Well, I mean, I think so for me personally, it's different for everyone. But for me personally, it is so much about the script, because it's a lot of times, things move very quickly, and people will be like, oh yeah, there's this term like on the day, we're going to do this, that, or the other. And on the day is just crisis, like left and right, basically. And like I always tell my friends, I'm like, when you're seeing one of my performances, it's never my best. It's my best given the circumstances. And so I try to really kind of put as much pressure on the script as possible, as early on as possible, so that there are, this sort of various permutations of what can happen for a character gets kind of worked out in advance, so that then when we're doing it, we're playing and we're being playful. Because I play an improv teacher, what I had to brush up on was knowing kind of what that would look like. Like, what does she know? What is she an expert in? That doesn't mean I'll be an expert in it, but what is basically the context for that experience?
Yeah, I can portray an expert.
Yes, in portraying an expert, pretending that I'm Amy Poehler.
Yeah. What about you, Orlando? Are you thinking more about?
Yeah, I mean, the comedy aspect was like built in a way, like an actor who's takes himself too seriously is just really funny, and is a method actor who's not very good and takes himself too seriously. I mean, that whole setup is pretty funny, and but then I kind of like, he was written to be a Northerner, and so I was like, I grew up watching Oasis, and I went to Nebworth for was one of my first gigs ever, which was amazing. And so I was like also Ian Brown, but I looked at like, who's the biggest Northern swag bag at the time, and I was like, oh, kind of Liam Gallagher, so I kind of lent in on this idea that Marlon, and I had this wig for Marlon, which I actually owned that wig, and I pitched the idea. I was like, how about if we do a massive transformation where Marlon's this kind of like, got this weird long hair, and he's a bit of a nerd who works like at a costume house, say Angels in Northern, like there's this Angels with like very high, and he dresses really kind of like and like would study and that was sort of.
I love how seriously you were taking Marlon.
Yeah. You have no idea. You have no idea. I'll tell you some stuff about that.
And then I was like, and then he becomes Roach, who's like Liam Gallagher, which was perfect because I could wear this green, like I kind of like. The whole thing kind of came together because Liam wore that like that green kind of army trench coat thing, so we kind of worked off that, and then it was just like, so the comedy for me was just like trying to play the moments for the truth of it. I was definitely not, like, we were very lucky because as Bryce mentioned, we had the writers on set who were genius, and obviously Tom, who's the director, they all worked together, so they could adapt things on set, and really when you play the truth of a really silly character like that, it's sort of funny, which was sort of fortunate for me because that wasn't like something I've done a lot of. But
and I'm glad you said something, because when I first turned the movie on and I saw the wig, I went, oh no, are they trying to pull off? Is that? And when the reveal comes, hang on.
So you own the wig.
Yeah, I brought that wig in. Yeah, that's my wig. Yeah, that's my wig.
You were like, I have an idea.
Yes.
It's brilliant. I mean, I looked at him and I was like, you look like the guy from The Room.
Yeah, tell me what's up. Tell me what's up.
He totally does. And I mean, honestly, though, like the layers to Orlando's performance is unreal. And I didn't even really fully grasp it, because even though he makes jokes about being an actor who takes himself too seriously, he doesn't. That's like, he's like worked it out for himself, and we're just having fun on set and all of that. But there would be moments where he's like, am I Roach? Am I Marlon? Am I Tristan? Am I like,
where am I?
Who am I right now? And the fact that it's like completely different physicality, like totally different dialect.
We had real conversations about that as well. Because it's like, wait, is this Roach? Because if he's coming into the room here, was he especially for that scene, your first scene, it was like, am I coming in?
Yeah.
Am I entering as Roach?
Because he's like really deep in character. Is he thinking in the lines of Roach, or is he the character? You know, we went there. It was funny.
That's great.
And the Oscar goes to honestly.
Everybody should hope to get somebody who takes it that seriously. Do you have a wig collection?
Yeah. I wish.
Do you keep it in the trunk of your car?
Yeah, just you never know when you're going to go deep cover. You never know. Like I just got to go deep cover.
I don't own one wig, Orlando.
It's funny. I got it from a movie where like and it's because it's made by the same people that did my wig for Lord of the Rings, which is crazy. So I've had it a long time because they're out of business a long time. Those things are made. Peter Owen and King.
Yeah.
So like they're like woven in, real hair, looks amazing. I had it for a character in a movie that they're really expensive. If I tell you how much that is, you'll be offended because it's like more than most people's paycheck for a long time. So, but like, and I was like, when the movie ended and we didn't really use the wig, I was like, guys, that's fitted for my head. Nobody else can wear it. Can I take that wig? And I got to keep it. And I'm really glad it got to play here. So it's like, I had it in my back pocket. I was like, where could I bring this?
Boom. And it does make the transition from Marlon to Roach that much more dramatic,
right? Yeah,
you know?
I feel like it'd be funny.
Totally.
Like when you came around the corner, it's like he really got his hair cut.
Yeah.
So he could go undercover. That's great.
He's like, this is his one shot at being a character, bro.
One of the themes is also like stage fright, right? Like Nick's character has tremendous stage fright. Is that something? I mean, I know you've both done obviously this forever. You've done theater work before. Was there ever a period of time where, or is that something that you go through now and just suck it up?
Yeah, I mean, I took beta blockers 45 minutes ago.
Boom. There you go. That's for you guys.
And look, and my hands are still shiny and glistening with sweat.
I don't know what it is about radio. I relax on radio. Even there are cameras, I feel like it's not the same thing somehow. But no, I think, before you walk on stage, I did like Romeo on Broadway. That was like terrifying.
Dude.
Press night, any press night, London, anywhere, press night. It's like, but I kind of get off on that kind of adrenaline feeling of that moment, but it is definitely like a real thing.
And Shakespeare, you can't really fumble bumble that.
You can't mumble that.
No, but you can't like mess up a line. Everyone will gasp because they know it.
Yes, that's true.
Or maybe just me in the audience.
Even if they don't.
By the way, the most studied person I've ever met. Like literally on set, the greatest person to be with, because like we'll have like the most useful facts. They're not mundane at all, about things that you just go, wait, what? You know about that? How do you know about that? And anyway,
do you just research and is that what,
she studies.
I get, when I'm interested in something, I go very deep. But if I'm not interested, I know nothing about it, and I can retain it. But but there are huge areas of just zero knowledge, understanding. Yeah, so.
But you have zero interest.
Best person to be impressed with as well, because like we were in London and somebody goes, they gave us a nutshell of the movie, and she goes, took it in. She was like, that's brilliant. This is exactly what the movie is. She goes, could you repeat that one more time? Okay. And then every time we went into the next movie, what is the movie? It's this.
Improv actors working at
This is amazing. I've got to get that from you. You've got to text me that.
But he was so great. Yeah,
I thought you were going to be on. When you're not around, I get like anxiety now. I don't have somebody with the line. I was like walking in this morning to do the Today Show, and I was like, wait, I'm not going to be able to remember this. Where's Bryce? Why is Bryce not here? She's supposed to be here.
I know, and it's fun too with Nick. Like we really, during it, we called ourselves the trio, and it is this story in a way of adult friendship. You know, it's really hard to make new friends when you're an adult, and Nick and Orlando and I were all kind of at similar stages of our lives and with kids and all of that. And so it was really fun. Kind of what was happening in the movie was happening in real life. You know, we were all really bonding and having a good time together.
When you're doing press like that and you realize that Bryce has her line, and she's going to hit every interview. Like, that's it. She's figured it out.
Yeah.
Are you laughing?
I raised my game.
Yeah.
I raised
Are
my
you
game.
laughing to yourself every time? Like, she cuts it perfectly again and again? Does it become
I'm just like, she's brilliant. I'm just like, wow, how does she do that? I'm doing backflips in my head trying to think about how I could land that just exactly. She articulates it so well.
No, but Orlando, you have all the charm.
Stop
you have
it.
all the charm.
Stop it.
There it is. What's your most recent wormhole that you've gone down?
I mean, it's there's usually something like every day something, but I'm really into I'm in an online fine arts program right now that I'm going to graduate from in October. So I'm excited.
By the way,
I'd like to go to
by the
school.
way, when we're sitting at the side of the set, you know, like most people sit and just scroll.
Yes.
Bryce has set up a table, beautiful watercolor paper, paints, paintbrushes. My daughter comes to set to visit. She's teaching my daughter watercolor.
She's
It's just the
amazing.
most beautiful thing.
Daisy's
like
my
literally,
watercolor
like,
buddy.
but it's like, and then at the end of it, we get a wrap gift, and it's this beautiful little watercolor painting with our. Yeah, it's just like,
Oh,
it's
thank
very.
you, Orlando.
I've got an original. I call it my original booty age.
It's like this big.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel like you have to be more productive on set?
No.
No, he's playing three characters.
I was just trying to stay sane.
Yeah. And the muscles. I mean, push-ups and all that kind of stuff. in
That's right.
between,
That's
so,
right. Do
yeah.
you think that that's because you were the star of one of the most eerily predictive episodes of Black Mirror?
Yeah,
of
my
all time.
God.
That as you
The
watch, like it
best
feels
ever.
like every single
Is there a
day.
better Black Mirror? I argue.
I don't
think there's a better Black Mirror episode than hers.
Because you watch Nosedive and you're like, oh, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Oh, that's what we're
It
we're
was
doing.
so
We're
crazy,
doing
that
it.
script.
And then watching you get manic, it's like,
Was
oh
it
no, that's
written by-
inside.
Who wrote that?
So Charlie Brooker, who's the showrunner, wrote it, but Michael Shore and Rashida Jones wrote
Rashida.
wrote a draft of it, which was really so very involved in kind of